Let's crack open that blunt.
On Thingus. Welcome to Thingus.
Let's play Sonic the Hedgehog.
All right. Okay.
On the Super Nintendo.
What a Super Nintendo classic to start this shit on. I was gonna try out a new tagline. Thingus, the show that talks back, and you can talk to it, and it talks back, and you can talk to it. Doesn't that just roll off the tongue?
The show that talks back. What does that mean?
Right, like every show talks back.
But I mean, it doesn't talk back, it just talks. If
right,
it talked back,
talks.
you'd be in it.
Right. Well, the show that talks, and you talk back. There we go. That's edgy.
You talk back.
You talk back because talking back is like when you're rude to your parents. So like talking back to the show is like kids rule, you know? It's just like, it's the coolest thing you can do is talk back.
Oh my God, don't ever talk back.
No.
Unless it's awesome, which it is.
I mean, yeah, unless talking back rules, which it does. Who wouldn't want to talk back? Like, I would simply talk back if I had the if my parents were being unreasonable with me. I would simply talk back to them.
So this isn't Sonic at all. You can't roll, you can't spin jump, and getting hit does not make rings fly out of you.
Are these environments original?
I have no idea. They don't look like Sonic at all.
We're not Genesis kids in this house. So like Sonic doesn't look so great. Like this looks like the sprite, but something's up.
Yeah, like
for instance, when he falls, he appears to be looking up. Is that always the case?
he's supposed to be a circle when he jumps. He's supposed to be like a ball.
They couldn't hack that one, huh?
No, well, I assume it's because this is actually a different game altogether. Look, he's got 3 hearts. What game is this?
Jazz Jackrabbit.
Oh my God. They didn't make that for the Super Nintendo.
No, they didn't make that for anything.
No, that's not a console game. What is this? That's what Y does. It looks like he's kicking.
That must have done something completely different on whatever this game was. At least you can go fast.
You can't go fast.
Someone's trying to trap you. Oh, you freed Mario.
Freed Mario. This must have been one of those games that like we saw at the game store that was like a clearly, obviously fake Sonic for the Super Nintendo game.
Look how the background is just floating in the air.
Oh yeah, it's dog shit.
And yet, most people who set out to make a game will never make anything this good. So what the fuck are you people laughing at?
Yeah, where's your game?
My game doesn't look this good.
All right, this time.
Yeah, you got it.
8.
Oh,
No. Ah.
I mean, I still want you to win. You're gonna play this until you at least beat level 1, right?
I was about to quit just now.
I could tell.
Damn it again.
I could tell.
They give you so many lives.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. That's how they get you. They want you to think it's possible to win this game. Oh, a zipline. Well, nothing's cooler than that.
That voice is creepy.
What was that? Did you see who made that sound?
I think it was Sonic saying his own name.
Ah. Mario.
Mario says Mario.
Can we take a peek at that Mario?
Yeah. Yeah, let's get a closer look at that.
Is that like that? Wow, that's bad. Is
Yeah.
that's like Sub Mario is missing, which is an official Nintendo game, by the way. Look at those mountains. They're just on top of the trees.
Yes.
What is it? What are we supposed to believe? There's just molten lava between everything?
No, it's water. See? It's like
Right.
it's like the water reflecting the sky.
Oh. Well, in that case, it's beautiful.
But then why is it down here too?
I'm not sure this is even supposed to be based on real life. A pole.
No.
Oh,
I'm used to like dragging you. All right. So where do you fall on this? Do you think a game with like a side moving platform like that should allow you to like when you jump, should you stay like over the platform? Like should it automatically move you, or should it make you fall and die like it made me fall and die?
when you jump from a platform,
So it's like a platform moving side to side, right? Then
Right.
if you jump off of that, should you stay? Oh, it's just so hard to explain. Here, I'll
should
do
you
it with
share
this.
the physics of the moving platform?
It's
or-
like you jump and fall like
we're
that.
doing it with the
Or
weed.
should it like
Should the
carry
physics
you like
of the platform continue when you jump?
yeah,
It depends on the game, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't consider it for this game.
Not at all. Yeah, you should move with the platform. Mario and Sonic go to hell too. Right, this wouldn't even be the original.
Yeah. I need drugs for this.
Very necessary. This is like having a stressful life. Like when a video game it offers you no relief from your real life.
Yes. Oh my god. Can you think of a game like that was from our past?
From our past? Well, I've complained about this one before. It's not from our past. But the first example that comes to mind is Stardew Valley.
Oh, yeah.
I like to garden, and
Uh-huh.
I guess this is true in general of farming games because I never liked Harvest Moon either.
Uh-huh.
Gardening is hard work.
Yeah.
And the reward is that you get food. So virtual gardening, it needs to be pretty fucking easy for me to want to do it. And if it's at all challenging and doesn't make me feel like it was easier than actually just planting a seed in the ground, then I feel like I put my money into a machine and nothing came out. And
Yeah.
I didn't even have the thrill of gambling. All I did, because I didn't put my money into the machine, although I did. I put my life into the machine, and it didn't give me back life-sustaining food.
Yeah, that's actual time of your life that you put in
Yeah.
that you could have put into a real garden.
Yeah, mental energy, where I feel exhausted after a day of planting radishes in this game.
Well, yeah, isn't like a strength of a game being able to do things that you can't do in real life?
Yeah, or doing things that you can do in real life, but would be so much more inconvenient.
Yeah. I'm changing this. You want to go to Mario 64?
If you want, I mean, how many people are here? I'm wondering, like, if we should. There's a good crowd. Let's do it. I mean, if you want to play like one more game on here, like a real quick one,
Yeah.
you never know when we're going to be surprised by what the multi-cart has to offer.
Right, I didn't plan for this Sonic game. Let's see, what else looks interesting?
Yeah, we didn't plan for the Sonic game, and that was great.
I mean, there's a lot of classics right here.
Yeah, we don't need. I say let's not get involved in a classic right now. Or
Okay.
At least not something that we see as a classic. Let's just do something we've never done and form a quick opinion on it.
Okay. It looks like some bootleg Zeldas here.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do another bootleg, I could do something.
Yeah,
Is that one on the extender controller? Is that
this is the extender one.
okay? Yeah, let me.
Just
let me
untangle it first.
oh no, the controller's all tangled. Oh my god, it just like knocks over our whole setup. It might. Yeah. Is it tangled, or do you think it'll? Okay.
I think it's okay.
All right, it's okay.
Yeah, I also have a controller in case anything is two-player.
Build a walkable city. Is this Buster Bus loose?
Yeah, probably.
Should I play a little of this? I mean, we have this game, but
Yes.
should I just play this?
Yeah.
Okay. I should play something that I'm like marginally going to be good at, because otherwise I'm just gonna like immediately give up, like
Yeah.
as is my usual playing habit. My guess is like, all right, in hindsight, this game kind of sucks, but I do like it.
Yeah. I think the art is really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good as far as like, you know, cartoons trying to be a video game and like preserve some of that cartooniness. I mean, it helps that Tiny Toons was pretty lifeless from the start, right? The source material is not much more animated than what we're seeing in this game.
Oh my god, Tiny Toons was very inconsistent in its quality.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was terrible.
Sometimes it was like really annoyingly good animation.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my god, yeah.
Like who the fuck do you people think you are? Like fuck off.
Yeah, the animation in Tiny Toons is sometimes like it's like expert technical, like looks amazing for seconds, and then there's like whole episodes that look like
Shit.
yeah, like characters like going in and out of the same pose and like constantly cycled animations and like, you know, just like very rushed looking, right?
One of my friends and I in college were like very, very into discussing this exact thing. and I knew the names of the studios back then. Who did them. I believe Kennedy is the name of the worst studio.
It's
that
pretty
made
low
Tiny
quality,
Toons.
yeah. And TMS, the Japanese studio, is the best.
TMS is the good one.
Yeah.
And Kennedy is the bad one.
Yeah.
Fucked. Into the garbage with me. Pretty funny that you go into a garbage can when you lose.
Yeah, it's like it's a much cheaper look. And then like the movie looks amazing.
Okay. The Tiny Toons movie?
Yeah.
Oh right, How I Spent My Summer Vacation. We should like we should do a Thingus where we watch that one like Saturday morning.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That would be funny. Yeah, I saw that recently.
Oh really? You've seen it recently?
Yeah.
Well, at least they just go vertical. I just can't help myself. I love duck too. He like revs his chainsaw. He's like sitting silently in the car and he's like, I eat duck too. And he just like pulls out his fucking chainsaw again. And Plucky has just been waiting the entire time to be killed by this guy. He's never been wrong about him for a second. Oh my god, I don't remember how to play this game.
You gotta get your dash up. It's not easy, I thought. It's pretty difficult.
Ah,
yeah,
shit.
look how barely. It's so hard.
Oh, now you could do the jump.
You have to do it so precisely.
Now you can do it like this.
Okay.
La! Just such a great little pose. He's so delighted to be able to. Oh, this isn't useful to me anymore. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, because I can do this one now.
Yeah,
What
I mean, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna comment on this level design. Like, what if Buster was in a library moving those like archival things by pushing buttons? Wouldn't that like be really, really consistent with like, you know, the whole Tiny Toons thing as we know it? Like, they're always in the library on the show, right? Oh, and now I'm in a permanent collection full of fun little bits of business. I'm in like the school's like museum collection. What year do you think Acme University opened?
Well, I don't know. When did Warner Brothers get serious about like bringing all those cartoons back?
No, I think it opened. Okay, I'm not talking about Warner Brothers. I'm talking about within the canon of Tiny Toons. What I think is that in the 70s, when they were making all those really shitty Looney Tunes, that's when they opened the school.
Yeah. Oh my god, you mean those Looney Tunes that were like da 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 da?
Yes, and everyone in the room is just like, no!
Oh my god, that was always a bad sign.
Oh my god, I know. You're just like, no!
Yeah.
And then like you're thinking about changing the channel because, I mean, you know, where are you gonna go? Honestly, they've got you by the fucking balls, but
Yeah.
oh my god, terrible cartoons. I mean, also like the weird Tom and Jerry's and shit. Like, unfortunately, the Chuck Jones Tom and Jerry's. I was just
Yeah,
like,
weird.
don't want to watch this. It's well, because it's not funny. It looks really good. Great animation, Chuck. I don't want to watch that shit. It's not funny. You know what's
He doesn't
funny?
get it.
No. I mean, he's too winsome. He's too winsome in general. I mean, he brought a great mean-spirited energy to Bugs and Daffy, but a lot of that humor was cleverness, whereas Tom and Jerry is just sheer brutality.
Yeah.
There's no like, ain't that clever? And Chuck Jones is like, he's like a little fucking Paul McCartney of animation, you know? He's just trying to make a clever little love song. And Tom and Jerry is all about the moments where like everybody in it is so fucking depraved. Like Tom's fucking girlfriend, a remorseless woman, right? Does not love Tom at all. Just like, when you gonna fucking like, right? She's very demanding of him and she's just a babe, right? No personality. Tom is constantly getting his limbs cut off. Never. Chuck Jones didn't know what the fuck to do with that. He's gotten his tail cut off many times. Did Chuck Jones ever do cartoons where his characters got their limbs chopped off with a pair of scissors?
No, that's not the type of humor they did in Looney Tunes. That wasn't, you know, like, yeah, like they didn't do tail chopped off scream.
Right, yeah, just right, scream in agony. That was so long. Like, you never hear all of it. How did you even get all of Tom's scream? I've never heard all of it because it's always cropped when you hear it in a cartoon. Like, I've never heard. That's like 2 seconds long. It's scenic. Like you're going on a trip with that one. Oh my God, one more time, please. That's as long as the original recording is. That might be an edit. I can't remember what I did. That might be someone who added a long echo.
No, I added the echo. I might have also stretched it out. I can't remember.
Oh shit! Oh, that's so funny.
But I got rid of I got rid of Vanilla Tom, and now we just have Tom Quiet.
It's soothing, really.
Yeah.
I wonder how loud it's coming in on the stream. Oh yeah, I remember this looking pretty fun. Like, the thing is, like, when a bunch of Tiny Toons heads are spinning around, you're like, who gives a shit which one it is?
Well, yeah, like, you had the most wonderful thing to say about Tiny Toons. Do you remember what it was?
Oh, right, my tweet. I think you remember it better than I do.
Yeah, Tiny Toons is about an aggressively mediocre generation learning comedy at a school owned by a corporate-owned town.
Yeah, that was the gist of it. What am I supposed to do? Help Kitty? Help Hairball? Hairball. Great, really creative names, guys. I'm sorry, Furball. Furball. Great name, guys. Oh my God. Like, let's review these fucking names.
Well, like, these characters are all just, they're all just wannabes, right? They're all just nobodies.
Yeah, they're all just like the fail sons and daughters, or they're not related to them at all, but they just thought they could do it. Like, cause, you know, cause I'm like Fifi the skunk, not related. Well, look, she would have to be related to Pepe Le Pew because everyone born in the last, you know, what, 80 years would be related to Pepe Le Pew. He's like Genghis Khan. All right, so she's a little related to him, but she's not like his direct descendant. So like, you know, at that point, when you're that far removed, you don't really know if you're gonna benefit from the nepotism at all. But she's just gonna make a go of it because she wants to go to Hollywood, right? Pepe Le Pew lives in France. Fifi lives here with us in our shit country.
Yeah, presumably in America.
Yeah. So Fifi has. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, like some version of California, I think.
Right, right. Some version of California. And Fifi, Fifi is, you know, she's not doing what her great uncle or, you know, great cousin twice removed, or however long skunks live, how many generations they would have made by now. Fifi's not doing what her French, whatever he was to her, is doing. She's being sexist against men, which is like way cooler, especially in the 90s when the show was made.
I guess so, yeah.
We really need one of those. When you realize, okay, because
Well, we gotta get through this game to the main
to
feature.
the main attraction. Okay.
So you should just, you know, play.
Okay, Joe. Okay, Joe. I'm
Maybe
so
we should
sorry.
have a sound effect like.
All right. When you right, please play me off, Joe. Please play me off. Look, I tend to not. Shut up. And we need a way for you to tell me.
This one's too quiet, right?
It's too quiet. Yeah. If I heard that, I wouldn't even hear it. I would be like, I would still be talking to you high. I would still be like, hey, Joe, have you ever thought about it this way? And I'd be staring you down and you'd be pressing the button over and over and over and over again. And I would not even hear it because I wouldn't stop talking. I would just hear my own fucking voice in my ears.
Oh my god, I love
That's
that one.
perfect. Right, yes.
And then that one.
Okay, yes, thank you. What Fifi is doing is praxis. That's the thing that I was trying to circle around with all of that. Fifi Le Pew? Or is she called something else?
I don't remember.
Fifi Le, like it's something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you gotta figure that if she was related to Pepe, then she'd probably be like his granddaughter, right? Because like this show came out like 1993, it said.
Well, yeah, but we didn't figure out how long skunks live. So we don't know how many generations.
I figured they're human years.
Okay, okay.
Like, you know, because like, you know, Pepe Le Pew is alive in this show, right?
Well, yeah, but none of these characters have aged. So you mean to tell me that like they had children and their children aged, but they didn't? Fifi was just born an 18-year-old skunk.
I guess so, yeah. And she's purple, which is like makes me think that like maybe they would not have chosen to have a purple character back in the day when they made Looney Tunes.
No, purple didn't look good on there were no TV screens for purple to look better than black on. They changed all that shit. Like in a movie theater, I'm sure Pepe looked amazing. Pepe, I just called him Pepe. I'm sure he would have looked amazing on a movie theater screen.
Yeah.
Now, like I don't know this. How long has this shit been going on? Where like you don't put anything black on a TV. Maybe it's just you don't put anything like on a kid show, but I feel like there's something to I don't know. Like for some reason in animation it doesn't pop the way it should.
Wait, I haven't heard about this. You can't have black on a kid show?
Okay, this is completely something that is like, you know, I heard like many years ago and still believe it to be true. So I don't know if it's true, but like I remember hearing within the animation industry that generally if you designed a black character, like a character that is like pitch black, you should draw them purple because it shows up better on a TV screen.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I've never heard that before.
I mean, it certainly doesn't seem like it's true.
Well, does this have anything to do with like seizures? Because like black causes like too much contrast.
Maybe it was like a cautiousness about that, and maybe that the data there has changed.
I don't know. I don't think you should. I think it's bad to do like black and white really rapidly. So if like the screen is changing, like and there's like a white or a black character, then it might like I don't know.
It could cause a flashing.
Yeah. Like maybe they like wanted to soften the spectrum a little on cartoons and have more purple.
Right.
I don't know. That's just like what this makes me think. I'm not like basing this on anything.
Yeah, we're just totally making this up from memories and guesses.
Shut up!
I'm just gonna focus on my jump roping. I'm sorry to anyone who came to watch Mario 64 that I'm just jumping rope as Buster Bunny tonight. Alright, I don't want to do this. I hate this. Why do I keep trying to get a star? What am I doing here? I just gotta get through this. I think we gotta control their dogs in here. I haven't gotten to dash much in this one. Whoop. There's two, like, you gotta be too cautious in here. This is shit.
I feel like the dash is what makes this game interesting to me.
Absolutely. It's the best thing it has going. It does make you feel like a cool dude when you're dashing sometimes. Is this, they're putting on a play, right? This is a performance? That's why they're talking like they're bad acting. Because Tiny Toons, there's no sincerity in Tiny Toons. It's very
No, they break the fourth wall.
Yes.
But that's because they're learning and, you know, I don't know, they have to fuck up, right?
Oh yeah. Well, look. You know, I'm always thinking about the kind of stories you would tell about college students. They have to be fucking assholes. They have to be really stupid. Oh.
Whoa. And, you know, Buster, he thinks he's Bugs.
Yeah, that kid. Ah, I thought I was going fast enough.
Babs, she also thinks she's Bugs.
Yeah, they both think that they're Bugs. That's kind of that is kind of great. Like the dynamic between Buster and Babs Bunny is very competitive.
Yeah.
Right? They
I guess so.
they seem like they should be sweethearts, but they actually kind of hate each other.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, that like they're competing to be like the next Bugs or something.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, they both want to be a star.
Can they both be a star?
Well, they are both the stars of Tiny Toon Adventures, but
Yeah.
who's the star of this fucking video game? You tell me.
It's not Babs.
It ain't Babs.
Yeah.
Woohoo! They're just hitting their tomatoes. They take a little bow and they walk away. Oh, fuck off. Fuck you. Just fuck you. I love this shitty way it sinks. Oh no, it's falling. Where'd you come from? Oh, wait.
And who is he? He's not Wile E. Coyote, but he looks like him.
He looks like Wile E. Coyote, and they don't explain who he might actually be.
You know, same thing with Buster. He looks like Bugs Bunny, but they're not related, are they?
Oh, yes. Come on, come on, come on.
Even Buster and Babs are not related.
Yep. No, they say it every time.
But, you know, they also have the same name as Bugs Bunny, so it's like just a common name, right?
Yeah, no relation. Neither of them are related to Bugs. He's their teacher, but he doesn't know them.
Nah.
But yeah, they're trying to be.
Would he
funny
know
in
them
school.
if they were related?
Ha! Probably not.
That's
He's
a
bunny.
family of like 10,000.
Yeah, Bugs doesn't know every fucking kid he's had. The other day after our stream, I just published it immediately, and then Mike was asking about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I already published it," and he was like, "Wow, that's brave," and I was like, "What, is it gonna get any better if I wait?" Oh, shut up! I hate this shit. Can you just die? He can just die. He just keeps throwing. Great sprite, guys. Those things are annoying.
Find yourself in a comedy routine.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I do really like that. The idea of like being able to like play a cartoon.
Oh yeah.
There was also a game, Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage, that was a little like that.
Yes, that game's pretty fun. You can also play pranks on dogs. Again, like not a great game, but also like it gave you the power fantasy.
Yeah.
That you should get from a game like that.
Yeah, being Bugs Bunny is kind of cool. You could just like put a hole under someone and they fall in it.
Oh my god, how am I supposed to do this shit? Oh right,
Oh,
I have to attack.
you have to beat it up. Oh my god, I forgot all of this.
Yep. I'm on like a bad I'm on an evil train now. It sucks. All that this has to do with Tiny Toons. I mean, it's good. It's good that this has so little to do with Tiny Toons, because this shit wasn't, you know, good enough to make a video game out of. Yes. All right. I didn't read this until now, but thanks to Wizard of Waldorf, we know that a skunk lives 15 years in captivity, 2 to 4 years in the wild. That's so funny. That's so funny. Man, the wild sucks. Get me out of there.
Yeah, save the skunks.
Save them. When people say video games are all about tension and release, they mean this game. I suppose I'm good at playing... Oh, no. I suppose I'm good at playing this game. That's rare. He's always causing trouble. I don't think I do anything here. This is just a cutscene, right?
I don't know.
I think so. It's fun. Yeah, it's just a cutscene. If the football game is next, I'll play that and then I'll turn this off.
Okay.
We've been doing this a long time, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, this might be the only game that I play skillfully tonight, so it may be worth doing it now and then handing over the mantle to you. Yeah, that looks bad.
Oh yeah, it's this. So it's just like completely random, right?
Yeah, total game of chance. Boring shit.
All right, let's turn this
All
off.
right, yeah. How's everyone doing tonight? Thanks for watching me and Joe play Play video games. Oh my god, Heidi's so cute. She's just totally asleep.
What is the M64?
Oh, shit, I'm not sure. What are the ones on the end there?
NES.
No, on the right side.
They're
They're not labeled. What's the next one?
This one?
Yeah.
It says DVD.
No.
This says LD. Laserdisc.
No.
This one says TGI6.
You know what? You're probably just going to have to try them all.
Yeah, well, I did this before and I guessed it.
Yeah. No!
Yeah, it's probably this one, right? Or I guess it could have been one of the.
Yeah, just try them all. There you go.
Okay, yeah, it's 7 for the N64.
Oh, your weather cooled down. That's good. It was hot as fuck today. I didn't even go outside. It was awesome. I just went outside I went outside after the sun went down because my son wanted a book that was in the car, and I got into the car to get the book, and it was really fucking hot in there, even though the sun was down. So that's all the information I needed about today. I spent all day inside. It was so great. Man, I can't remember the last time I just spent a whole day inside. It was lovely to just be in the air conditioner all day.
Oh
I
my
can't
god,
lie.
I love that.
Yeah, but I did my work in the morning, and then I worked out in the house, and I hung out with Oscar and you for like the whole afternoon. It's just an awesome day hanging out in the house. This is like COVID nostalgia right here.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty damn hot here.
Ready
All
to
right,
play Mario?
all right. The game you all came here for. Let's do it. Let's a go.
So when I was a kid,
Yeah, you want to start with your story about Mario 64?
when I was a kid, I turned this game on, and Mario was low pitched, like. And it was the most freaky thing ever. I was maybe like 9 years old. I screamed and turned it off and ran out of the room. And it never happened again. And I never heard of it ever happening again to anyone else until a few years ago. One person in like the speedrunning community mentioned it.
Right. And he had to be playing on the console for it to happen, right?
I don't know. I think it's just like maybe the original version or something. I'm not sure if he was playing on console or emulator.
Yeah, because what we were trying to figure out is like what made that happen? Was it the fact that it was a console version of the game, or like a certain like version of the game that got put out and it had since been changed?
I mean, what would make that happen? I have no idea. But like,
Oh, let's watch a little of this.
yeah.
Why would anyone want to speed through a game where you can so luxuriate in its wonder?
Well, I don't know. I feel like behind every speedrun there's like a dad who wanted to use the TV, or like a sister who wanted to use the TV, and like they had to get through the game really fast.
Yes.
See, I'm like doing it. I've been watching them so much that I was trying to skip Lakitu, but I don't know how to do it.
No, you can't. They force you through a couple of tutorials.
They made a new version of this game, and I don't like what they did to the font.
Oh yeah, that sucks. I love the font in this. I love all the UI in this. So okay, So you've been pretty like aware of like this Mario 64 speedrun community for a long time. I've known nothing of it personally, but like if I had to guess the appeal of this game in particular, it seems obvious to me that this is one of the first and then like last 3D games that is like at least somewhat contemporary enough to like play with the skills that you have in a 3D platformer. It was the first and last to have controls and mechanics like as tightly concise and economical as the predecessor cartridge games did.
Yeah, you might be right about that. That this game, it does feel like the first and last of something. That it's like I can't really do it, but like look how fast Mario can go. He can go so fast in this, and like you can sort of control it, and like you can't really get that kind of speed in the newer games, I think.
Yeah, there's a power to being able to go fast with Mario. Yeah, I think that might be it. Is like this game really feels like you have incredible powers. Like look at the way you're moving around.
Oscar loves this.
Yeah, it's because it's like parkour. It's like what if you could move through the world like this?
I do really like what you could do with the jetpack in Mario Sunshine and with the like hat in Mario Odyssey. But this is the only game where there is nothing but Mario, and like everything is just 100% you. You
Mario
know, like
and his talents.
even Mario Galaxy, he has a star that helps him do a spin.
Yeah.
So like this is the only 3D game where he doesn't have anything added, no gimmicks.
Yeah. No gimmicks. Right. I mean, like they had to keep adding shit to make the Mario games more interesting. But yeah, this feels like they took the tightness of those original Mario games and as much as possible translated it into this new 3D world where exploration was like practically endless.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you can't see beyond the horizon. Like that it just looks like there's things out there that you can't even see. Like you couldn't create effects like that in 2D. I mean, you can draw a picture of a horizon, of a distant horizon, but like you couldn't make it feel like that world was just like out there for you to explore like this does.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure that's all like the Truman Show, right? It's just like a little bubble around Mario.
Yeah, Mario's world is very fake looking. It's
Yeah.
like a toy. This looks so much better on this TV. This
Right?
game.
Right? It looks better when it's not, you know, when an HD TV isn't trying to like, you know,
Yeah,
cheat it
like
into the current resolution.
well, yeah, like do you know about like his distance model? He's like really less detailed when he's far away from the camera. And you don't really see it as easily as you would on HD TV.
Ah.
Yeah, like his mustache and nose get smaller and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah,
right, 'cause
it
they-
looks fuzzy. It's like organic looking.
Yeah, like it looks like a camera.
And everything is darker by the like black lines. So like on an emulator this is like bright green, but like here it's like sort of teal.
Right. People probably know the map of this level better than they know their own neighborhood. I mean, yeah, this was such a defining thing for so many people our age. I think, yeah, it's just, oh, I kinda lost my train of thought there. Let me think. You know, it's also like, it also,
Sorry.
It's also like I forgot it again. I had it again and I forgot it again. I mean, it's also, you know, kind of the advent of 3D when this game came out. Like, you know, PlayStation had been out a year earlier, and we already knew computers could do stuff like this. But if you really believed in Nintendo, which we did, seeing Nintendo in 3D is what made 3D real.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't gonna play that shit on PlayStation.
Well,
Like,
this looks a lot better.
yeah. I wanted to play Final Fantasy, and that's the only reason I got a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But this is the shit.
Oh yeah. This game is still fun. It's like definitely like less tight controls, little easier to die accidentally.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's still fun to play, and like I love that Oscar, who is 5, loves this, and like, you know, I feel as if what he likes in this series is also the general consensus. I think this is still the most popular one.
The most popular Mario game ever.
Well, the like most popular of the 3D games.
Of the 3D. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, this one never exits the public consciousness.
Yeah.
At least as far as I can tell. And the way you're describing it, it sounds like a lot of younger people are playing this game, like people who didn't grow up with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how old these speedrunners are. They're probably like 25 to 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, then, yeah, they wouldn't have grown up when it came out.
No. No, they would have been babies. Maybe their parents had it. This would be like, you know, like your parents had a copy of Abbey Road. Like, your parents had this shit laying around, and you asked if you could hook it up, and they were like, I literally don't give a shit. I haven't played this in 15 years. And then you realize that Mario 64 is awesome, and you talk to other people on the internet about how awesome it is. And you get really pretentious about liking Mario 64 the way you get really pretentious about liking the Beatles for a very short period of time. Speedrunning is an interesting hobby.
Yeah.
I saw there's a guy who speedruns Perfect Tides, and he gets pretty impressive runs. He actually looks like me when he's playing. Where,
Yeah.
like, I'll play the game and I'll just like speed through everything because I know how to do everything.
Yeah.
He plays like that. Like,
Well,
he's
maybe
fast.
you can beat him.
That's a really good idea. Dev plays against a speedrunner? My God. That's a great idea.
Yeah, see what your best time is.
That's interesting. Yeah, I should play against the speedrunner. That's so funny. Okay, Wiz says they have a 19-year-old friend who was just speedrunning the game, and that it was definitely like a trend on Twitch. And
Yeah.
there was I don't know what summoning salt is, but there was a summoning salt video about the game. I don't know what it is, so it must be something for people at least 10 years younger than me.
Oh yeah, let me get that.
We're so excited by Mario. Forgot all about it. This shit rules. This game's just a party.
Yeah. The song is great.
This song is awesome. I wanted to ask you, this is not Mario 64 related, but how did they cram so many voices into Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Well, when we put the game on this cartridge, it tells you how big it is. It was 64 megabytes, so that's
Oh.
the biggest. I think maybe that's the biggest N64.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but it's bigger than this game. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game is only like 8 megabytes.
Oh my God, eight
We
megabytes.
can check.
8 megabytes of beauty.
Yeah.
Super Mario 64. Oh man, he's a little boo-boo.
So yeah, just like the viewers, we had to wait a week with Wave Race before playing this game.
Yeah, I think it was longer than that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That we waited for getting Mario 64?
Mario 64, yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and it's been a couple of weeks since we played Wave Race, so it's probably been about the same time.
Uh-huh. Woohoo! Do you want to talk about our hill
Our hill?
that we're prepared to die on this week?
Oh, video games should not have voice acting.
No.
Oh.
Well, I guess we're done talking about this. No. All right. Go ahead, Joe. State your thesis.
What?
Oh, would you like me to?
Yeah.
Okay. Disclaimer. I don't really give a shit if any games have voice acting in them. There are a lot of great games with voice acting in them. Everyone I discuss in this theoretical grievance is completely fictional, and this does not apply to anybody real. Video games should not have voice acting in them. The voices are often very corny. And they almost never enhance your ability to identify with the characters.
Oh, yeah.
Please, what say you?
What say me? Okay, so like, if you're playing a game and the voice acting is just so much slower than you reading the text, it's like such a waste. It's like, oh, so you found the why I'm if you agree to
Right, you can play.
finally it's like you're just reading like mountains of text and like I'm not gonna listen to this.
Oh my god! Right, because you can play a video game 3 times as fast if you don't listen to all the shit.
Yeah.
And look, like I will occasionally, be very happy to sit through a cutscene if the cutscene is earned. But with voice acting, everything is a cutscene all the time.
Yeah, like it'd be great if there were cutscenes where this was where you would hear this stuff. But like, so people might be already thinking like, well, this game has voice acting. Mario just made a voice acting, and it's like, this is not what we mean. Like, this is different. This is
these
exception.
are vocalizations.
These are sound effects.
Yeah, no, there's another term for it. I forget what it's called, but I actually saw the term just today. It's like a specific term for the vocal like grunts and stuff. But
Yeah.
I think efforts.
Efforts.
Vocal efforts is what they
Okay.
called it, right? So those are not the same as dialogue.
Yeah, well, but there was some at the beginning with Princess Peach and at the end too.
That's true, but that's okay. That's a cutscene.
Yeah, that's just like there's like 2 cutscenes in the game.
Right. And I mean, look, I think, yeah, you could argue that like we never needed to hear what Princess Peach sounded like, but you're also not like dying to know what Princess Peach sounds like. She just doesn't actually have like much of a personality. She's occasionally a playable character in Super Mario, but she's not some great like mystery to me that I'm like projecting things about myself onto. I feel like I've got it with Princess Peach, and if they want to add a sweet little feminine voice to her, I'm not like, oh, but I thought she sounded more like me. I don't have I'm not let down by something like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I thought she sounded more like she sounded in my head, which is just my voice, because when a game is text-based, everybody has your voice.
Huh.
They might have like slightly different tone than yours, right? But like when I'm reading something, I'm just reading all of them like me. Or maybe I hear, you know, or maybe I hear a perfect voice in my head. That's not my voice. What I don't hear is someone going, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?"
Yes. That's what would you say, like, the majority of voice acting is that in games?
All right, I'm gonna return to my disclaimer. I'm gonna tap my disclaimer one more time and say I'm not talking about fucking anybody. I'm not. I am seriously not talking about anybody right now. I am just expressing a preference. Yeah, there are a lot of bad voice actors. Like, but you know, I'm not going to get specific. Just the kind of shit you hear in like a bad anime dub. You hear that in video games too, right? Like, that's just, it sounds the same as that. You know, like, what do you mean? It's just like,
that's not what you imagined, and hearing it takes away your ability to imagine.
yes, it denies you of the ability. It just fills your, you know, it overwhelms the senses so that you can't
Your
think about.
preference is denied. Right?
Yes.
That's how it feels?
Yes. And like, you know, when you have like, you know, when you have portraits or like the camera is on the character, there's a chance for the artist to show you what that character is feeling. And then the voice actor has a chance to blow it. Like, you know, maybe they will get it across if they're a truly great performer, which they all are, by the way. I am not saying any voice actor is not great, but like all the ones that suck, just like, you know, they take away from the performance that might have been possible. Maybe I'm giving too much credit to the game developers though for doing good acting in their games. But I feel like the player bridges a lot of the gap between what could suck about a game and, you know, what doesn't, because like they imagine it good instead of it sucking.
Well, I suppose when this game came out, I was a little shocked that Mario sounded completely different than he did before. Like, I wasn't really ready to accept it, that he's like, whoa, now.
Right.
Like, he didn't sound anything like that.
No, he was like, I'm Mario.
Yeah,
for a long
like,
time.
Yeah, he said it like Mario, didn't he? Not like Mario.
Yeah, he was well, those were American cartoons though.
Yeah, oh,
I don't know if they talk like that in Japan. I have no idea.
Well, yeah, like they changed how they render him.
Yeah. Well, Mario became, like, Mario was drawn the way he was drawn because of graphical limitations way back when.
Yeah.
But then they made the choice to make Mario more deliberately an adorable little guy. They weren't going to make Mario a realistically proportioned guy, which meant that they had to kind of embrace the fact that he was little and cute. And that meant, you know, not having a voice like that.
I see. Yeah, I never thought of it like that. Do you think he works better in 3D, is like tiny?
Yeah, I would hate, look, here's something that I would hate, is playing a version of Super Mario 3 or a version of Super Mario World that had this Mario voice in it.
That would be annoying. Yeah, they do. I did play a little of that. And when Mario gets a mushroom, he's like, just what I needed.
Wait, there is a version where they do this? No.
Yeah, for Game Boy Advance.
No.
Yes.
No,
oh my
that
god,
sucks.
that
right.
series was stupid. It was like, the titles were stupid. It was like Super Mario Brothers Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3.
That sounds awful. That's like my nightmare. That's the nightmare I just described to you. You told me there's a game like that.
Yeah, I thought you were well, yeah, like that's the game.
You thought I was describing the game. No, I was describing my imagination.
Oh my god, no, I guess, yeah, you didn't know that existed, because I never bought it. I just emulated, I just like put it on my Game Boy Advance
and
cart.
shrieked in horror at it.
No,
Just
no, I mean,
what I needed.
I mean, I still played it, but yeah, like that's kind of irritating. I hated what they did to Yoshi's Island. They changed the sound effects to him being like boing, like when, like,
No.
yeah, right?
No.
It's like, ha,
No.
instead of just like the regular boink sound.
This is like an injustice. This shit has to stop. They did this a long time ago.
Yeah, it was Game Boy Advance, but like, yeah, like I played that too, and the resolution is terrible. It's like cut off. The colors are bad. The music sounds like ass. It's no way to play that game.
Well, I mean, all right, there you go. If you ever thought that Nintendo was nothing but quality, there have been a few really shitty missteps over the years. Bad licensing deals, right? Isn't that what Zelda famously did?
Zelda for what?
What they famously did with Zelda? They made like PC games of Zelda, and they were
my gosh.
awful.
Oh, you mean the CDI?
CDI, yeah.
The Philips CDI games.
Right.
Yeah, they were like these like really amateurish animations that look like MS Paint, and they're like really elaborate but terrible quality, and like the games look like bootleg Zelda games. It looks terrible. I've never played them, but we went to the store and it was like $1 million.
Right. We were at a retro game store last week, and they had one for like I think it was $1,000.
Wow. But yeah, there's plenty of info online about that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely fuck up the history. Here, I'll give the short version. They almost had a deal to make a CD playing system with Sony, but
Nintendo.
instead Nintendo. But instead they made a deal with Philips, and they made a god awful Mario game and a god awful Zelda game.
Wow, both of those things happened instead of the CD.
Instead of the
Instead of the
Nintendo
Sony
PlayStation.
Right, the Nintendo PlayStation.
Yeah.
So instead of that, they licensed out two of their biggest properties to a very, very bad developer, and probably I don't know, how was the console? How did it rate? Nobody bought it, obviously.
I have no idea if there was anything good on that console.
Right. I mean, no, I've never heard of anything being good for it, but like, I don't know, Mike is the console enthusiast, so he might have one. I don't know. There might be one rolling around. No, I'm sure he doesn't have one of those, because there's like no games to collect on it.
Well, I mean, you could get Hotel Mario.
You could pay $850 for
for that trash.
Yeah.
It'd be a treasure, though.
I mean, that's for a museum. That's not for like an individual asshole who wants to play old video games.
I suppose. I mean, if they're really that rare.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, who knows if they're that rare, or if that's just like the market. I think, the market has decided that that's what they cause.
Yeah.
But, that's small change for a museum, part of their collection.
Well, what do you think would be like the most difficult video game thing for a video game museum to find?
To find?
That would cost like millions of dollars.
I mean, I've seen a few examples of that. There are certain, like, pretty much one of a kind console prototypes, device prototypes that are, cannot be replaced.
Yeah.
That end up in museum. They end up, fortunately, in the collection of a museum. Yeah, it happens all the time. There's a few video game museums. I haven't been to any of them, but I know there's one in like Houston. There's one in Maryland that is not all video games. It's like computers and consoles. It's like an electronics museum. We could check that one out. That's not too far from here.
Yeah.
Let's do a Thingus trip report. We'll go to the museum.
Sure. Yeah.
There's probably
That's
a
cool.
few like video game museums at this point. Maryland Computer Museum. Yeah, I think it's got a name that sounds kind of bad. It's like the Bleep Bloop Museum or some shit like that. I don't know if it's in Baltimore. I know it's in Maryland. People in the chat are very interested in this in this museum. I hope I'm telling the truth.
It's made up museum.
Yep, complete fiction.
Well, yeah.
Poor Mario. You haven't had a chance to get like stuck in quicksand yet, have you?
Not yet.
System Source Computer Museum? That doesn't sound correct. It's called like the Bleep Bloop Museum. Bleep Bloop Museum. I cannot look it up right now, but the Bloop.
The bloop.
The Bloop Museum? Yeah. Terrible.
Die.
Did I, oh, I wanted to tell you something. Let me see if I can collect my thoughts.
Yeah.
So like I go down to the basement like to work out 3 days a week. And like I go down a little otherwise to like get stuff, but I don't really pay attention to anything down there. But like whenever I'm down in the basement, like for the last like I want to say 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks ago I went down there and there was a dead cockroach on the floor.
Okay.
And generally, you know, in a house like this, if I walk by and I see a mess, I gotta pick it up. I can't ignore it. Except when it comes to cockroaches. If there's a cockroach somewhere, I'm going to ignore it for the next 500 years. So I moved my bench so that I wouldn't be working out near it, so that I wouldn't accidentally step on it or anything. It was a real pain in the ass to do it, but I did my entire workout in avoidance of this cockroach. It was one of those dead ones where it was already like a little broken. It was like,
Oh my god.
it, you know, like its limbs were cracked off. So I left that shit alone. And
it's been
like
here for years.
yeah. So
From
like
the
Mike goes.
previous owners.
Well, no, it's new. It's new. I'd never seen it there before. But like, Mike, it's not still there. That's a little spoiler. But Mike goes down in the basement all the time. All day long, he's getting things. He's doing things down there. And he walks through and he doesn't give a shit about any of this stuff I'm talking about. I'm sure he never even noticed the cockroach. So every time I go down there, which is like every other day, I look at the roach and I notice that it's a little more dispersed than the previous day. Like it's kind of exploding in slow motion as Mike walks by and steps on it and squishes it into more crumbs. It's just slowly turning into stars in the sky on my basement floor. I thought you'd like that. I thought
Yeah.
it's like a good slob's tale.
Yeah. I had a lot of roaches
Oh God.
in my last apartment.
Fuck that.
Oh god. Yeah, that was terrible.
I mean, we're not too bad here, but our cat died not too long ago, and she was the expert roach killer in this house. She'd take care of them, so they're definitely doing better than they were. You know who's doing real good in our house lately? Since our dearly beloved cat left us, the mice in my kitchen are doing a lot better lately.
Oh.
In fact, they don't give a fuck if I'm standing there or not.
Oh.
It's gotten pretty bad since the cat left.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You know, we're gonna take care of them, but it's a big old house. Like,
Yeah.
there's some mice coming in somewhere. They live in the backyard. They come in, and when there's a cat there, they don't fuck with you at all.
Yeah.
And if they do, Ella would toss that thing around like pizza dough. It would just not make it through a single crusade.
Yeah.
They would not be able to gather one crumb from that counter. she would sit there in the middle of the night, just on the tile floor, just like her tail just going back and forth, just thinking about when that mouse was gonna come out and she was gonna fucking get him. Like, there's nothing I love as much as she loved that. Like, you playing Mario 64 was Ella's life. She would sit there and wait for mice like it was the most comforting thing on earth. And then she'd catch a mouse and she'd feel so powerful. Like her entire life was affirmed by it. Oh, you're in the penguin stage. Anyway, cats seem happy with themselves. I miss her a lot, and I would like a new cat soon. You know, I really would like a new cat soon. I wouldn't really like a cat, but I would like for a cat to be in my house soon. I don't know. I've fallen out with cats.
Yeah.
Used to love them. I loved this cat. She was very special.
Yeah.
You know, because Mike loved her. How am I supposed to love another cat?
Oh, you could. Cats are very important to me.
They have been in much of my life, but I think maybe Heidi crowded that desire out.
That's true. Heidi made it so you couldn't have a cat for a long time.
Yeah.
She was very aggressive. She was always, like when it came to mom's cats, she was always terrorizing them.
It's true. I kind of wrote off cats because I had to.
Yeah.
It was Heidi. Oh my God, Heidi made my life so difficult. I love her so much. Heidi could not be in a room with cats. Like, I adopted her, and I did not find this out until a month after I got her, that she could not be in a room with cats. So, like, for a person who traveled all the time with her dog, and a dog who had, like, insane separation anxiety and could not be without me for, like, a few months, life was hard. The cat thing didn't stop until about 3 years ago, when she just decided she didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Before that, a cat, she still smelled the blood of a cat, and she went crazy. Now she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, she's old.
She's so old. Man. Yeah, you think about the shit they put you through, and then you realize that, like, that's okay. And then you love them for that. Including, and if I had a cat, I'd feel that way too.
Yeah.
Because they need you, and in return, they provide such wonderful companionship. Why not let that into your life? Yeah, we'll get a cat soon, I think. This song is a total classic too.
Yeah.
God, yeah, I love the way this game looks. It looks so great. The baby penguins. Fun. Fun.
Wow.
Wow. Fun. No, I didn't base Manuel the cat off of a real cat. No, I didn't have a real cat when I created that guy. He's just, you know, he's just a little other side of Eve, you know? It's just an extension of her. Mario 64 is good, but it would be great if it was in HD. Said no one ever. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it looks terrible in HD. Like, most people play it in HD and it looks terrible.
Yeah. So I don't quite know if what if what the viewers are seeing matches what we see. Does this look like some kind of like HD filtering of it? Because we are using a capture card, so I don't actually know if it looks like the TV it's being played off of, or if it looks like something else entirely.
I mean, it doesn't look anything like this, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like watching it on a screen. It looks like I'm looking at a CRT, one person says.
Okay.
That's cool. I hope you're enjoying that as much as we're enjoying it here. Nintendo took their first crack at the newborn 3D platformer genre and fucking knocked it out of the park. Conversely, Bubsy 3D. Did Nintendo make Bubsy 3D?
Or were they saying that was like
I don't
the
think
first
so.
3D platformer?
No, that must have been like Sunsoft or some shit, right? Hato. All those studios are like, don't pin this one on me.
Yeah, what'd Sunsoft make?
Help us out, chat.
Didn't Sunsoft make Fester's Quest?
Did they? Man, we should play Fester's Quest.
We should.
We should make that like a main draw though. Like I feel like tonight's all about Mario 64. Yeah, no, we got that one on the docket for sure. Eidetic was the developers of Bubsy 3D, and it was published by Accolade. Hey, Mario
I've never
Party?
seen it.
Yeah, I think we'll do that at some point. I'm okay with this being the Mario game tonight.
Doesn't this game just have like a good frame rate? Like
Yeah.
the frame rate on the new Mario games is too smooth, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, someone in the chat says if I could see a chart of how happy I was in my life, I would say, wait, what are these spikes in 6th grade? Oh, the weekend mom rented Fester's Quest. Cool. That would be like kind of like the aliens that monitor my skeleton would also be monitoring how happy you were by every moment of your life, and they could go back and see how happy you were at every moment of your life. The plot thickens because like if you imagine this, then like they're doing it, right?
What, aliens?
Yes.
Well, yeah, like aliens know things, like they collect data on us that humans couldn't collect data on themselves.
But they kind of wish like a little bit that they could.
Yeah.
Right. That's the genre.
Well,
of
yeah,
the
like
shit I'm making up.
well, yeah, the aliens can they know your happiness levels and your sadness levels.
Yes. Yeah, right. But they don't have any information about what you were playing. They have to figure out that you were playing Fester's Quest by looking at for some reason they also have access to like all of the rental data from Blockbuster ever.
The aliens?
Yeah. They have access aliens have access to all these databases that we don't have anymore.
Right. That like nobody uses anymore.
Yeah. They went into the ether, but like they're actually energy that can't be destroyed, and aliens can harness that and put it back together.
So, did they have more data on like consoles and like physical games than like this era of like downloads?
It depends whether the project has concluded or not. We don't know that. Are the aliens still monitoring all these things?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, the experiment is still very much in effect.
Well, it's just more efficient to gather that data now because everyone's playing a game that's like connected to the internet. Like even playing Mario 64, like, well, I guess we're also doing that by streaming it.
Right.
Like they know now.
Right.
The
Right.
aliens know that we're playing this game.
Oh yeah, well, the thing is that the technology has improved since I was a kid, right? They were just monitoring my skeleton when I was a kid. Now, though, they actually figured out technology where they could read the subtleties of my jaw and figure out what I'm saying when all they see is that my jaw is going up and down and my body is gesturing. They have a very advanced algorithm that can analyze every movement of my skeleton and perhaps other types of vibrations that we're not quite comprehending ourselves, and they're able to use that data to ascertain what I'm saying. They can't hear my voice though, so it's a computerized version of my voice saying what they've figured out that I'm saying.
And it's like as accurate as like an automatic transcriber thing for video.
Exactly. It's pretty accurate. It's not bad. So they've been able to figure out by following like our streams for a few weeks. They know what we do, and they have all the information about this game that we're playing right now. And also, since we've said Fester's Quest out loud, they know what that is too, and they're wait.
They understand our like emotional connection with Fester's Quest being like a West Hamptons game.
Yeah, Fester's Quest is part of our Infinity Land. Like, were you the one saying that like we need to leave a copy of Fester's Quest in Infinity Land?
Just that we should make a photo of the cartridge in the sand.
Right.
And it's like Infinity Land.
Right. We should go out to the abandoned lot in Suffolk County in West Hampton Beach.
I was just gonna Photoshop.
Yeah. Yeah, no, take a satellite photo of that abandoned lot full of garbage and just superimpose a cartridge of Fester's Quest with anti-aliasing on the sides onto a satellite photo of Infinity Land. No, we gotta go there and take that picture ourselves. Fester's Quest also has like a totally separate dungeon crawler mechanic in like part of the game. Do you remember?
God, that was creepy.
Yeah,
I
right?
hated that.
Yeah, it's like a 3D dungeon crawler.
Yeah. God, that game was unsettling.
Oh God.
I mean, this game is unsettling too, actually.
Yes, it is. Do you still love Addams Family Values? We used to watch it all the time together.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, but yeah.
Oh man, let's watch it. Let's watch it around Halloween.
Okay. Sounds good.
Oh my God, one of my favorites. I feel like I watch it basically every year.
Nice. It's been a few years for me.
All right, have we talked? I think we might have talked about this, but not in a long time. Did the Addams Family read Jewish to you when you were a kid?
Well, I guess so. Maybe I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, sure. Like, they're a little weird, like my family. Right?
They seem to have weird old ways.
Oh shit.
Like creepy, perhaps demonic old ways compared to everybody else around them.
Oh my God, I guess so. Like, is that how the world sees Jews? Like the Addams Family?
Well, I think what really sealed it for me was that, like when the family comes to visit and they're all just like weirdos from all over the place, I was like, I feel like this family is weird like ours is. Not just our immediate household, like the family is weirder.
Yeah.
And they come from all places and just be weird together.
Yes.
And the way they were weird seemed Jewish to me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sound off in the chat if you think the Addams Family was Jewish. Maybe you just you just relate to them no matter what, because you feel like an outcast in this world. Living in America forces you to shed aspects of your culture that are deemed too weird for this white bread eaten place. And anyone with a little bit of a connection to their family feels like it's under attack in America.
Yeah.
Is this what's universal about the Addams Family?
That you love your weird family.
Yes. Well, yeah. That nobody else does, but you love them, right? You see nothing
Right.
wrong with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone, maybe even everyone, hates them, but you love them.
All right. So, okay. Okay. So one person says that the 2Ds in Addams felt Jewish, like more so than 1D would be. Then somebody else points out that Waspy Goyim were the villains of Addams Family Values, right?
I guess so. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while. I didn't really think of it like that.
Well, Wednesday hates camp. I mean, they both do. And Wednesday is like relentlessly punished for being herself there. And then she hangs out with this dorky boy and they like kiss under a tent. And he is actually Jewish. Like he wears a yarmulke, I think.
Okay.
And he loves her. Alison Bechdel has a bit about this, apparently. Oh, okay. Specifically, because Alison Bechdel is not Jewish, but she has the feeling that at a young age that her family was like the Addams family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, no, there's, I mean, absolutely, there's some universality there. What are other Jewish coded franchises or characters you've noticed?
Jewish coded, so not explicitly Jewish.
Well, I mean, in terms of like stuff we would have seen when we were kids.
Fuck! No, not again!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Help! Help! Oh man. Yeah, I have to think about that one for a few minutes. Well, yeah, Alison Bechdel's house was literally a funeral home, and her father was, if I remember correctly, her father was like very, very into collecting like antique, like Baroque antiques, right? Like he filled their house with like crazy old ornate shit that other people found creepy, and it was a funeral home. Like, it literally looked like the house that the Addams family live in. Morticia, right? Mortician. It's not metaphor. It's a person who lives in a morgue, like Alison Bechdel. All right, so actually, the Addams family is for a much more specific demographic than I previously thought. It's just the kids of funeral home operators.
Is that it?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so. I mean, a big part of that memoir is that Allison's father is a gay man, and he doesn't, he's not extremely horny for his wife like Gomez is for Morticia. So it's already, the comparison is already shot full of holes. If Superman is a Moses figure or a Jesus figure, you're on a conversation about that. Yeah, When somebody first put that question to the chat, I gotta say Superman is the first one I thought of, and I think that might have more to do with knowing that he was created by Jewish people, that he brings a specific power fantasy that you know, now that I know that, I see as universal for like Jews in America. The Munsters, yeah. The Munsters are different from the Addams Family due to being orders of magnitude more assimilationist. The Munsters were trying to be Americans, for sure.
Yeah.
Like the Munsters, the parents were like trying to like get the hang of all this shit, and their kids were completely assimilated, as far as I remember. You know, they still looked like werewolves and Draculas, but they did everything the other kids did. Not like Pugsley and Wednesday, who don't care if the other kids like them at all. Why would they?
And they're not even Draculas.
No.
They're just regular humans, but they're like green.
Yeah, well, yeah, right, they're green. Are they
they're
green?
Like blue, sort of.
Depends if you're watching the cartoon. They're not blue
Right.
in like the original TV show. It is funny that they gave them dead skin color, and I mean, you know, I imagine they were pale looking in the show, right? But
I guess so. That's how I'm picturing them, is like being light blue.
yeah, that they had unnaturally blue skin.
Yeah.
'Cause they were dead. Green, but in black and white? Really? Were they painted green on the black and white TV show? There was a color pilot for the Munster. Well, I know Herman Munster was green. Yeah, like you know, the fact that he's a Frankenstein suggests that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen another colored Frankenstein?
But was that show black and white?
Yes, it was.
So was there any point in actually painting him green?
Well, according to the chat, there was a color pilot for the Munsters.
Oh.
So I guess they went all out for that because they really needed to sell this. And then they did the old bait and switch and they made him black and white for the rest of the series.
Did they have a live audience?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that was canned laughter.
Okay.
Right?
I have no idea.
Now, I Love Lucy had a live audience.
Really?
I believe so.
Whoa.
I mean, God, can you fucking imagine being at I Love Lucy?
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, being at I Love Lucy. I didn't know. I've never heard of that. But yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm pretty sure I Love Lucy was, I'm pretty sure I Love Lucy had a live audience, and that when certain characters appeared on stage, the audience went wild for them. I think so.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, the show had a show within it, where Desi is putting on a show for an audience.
Yeah.
Was I Love Lucy filmed before a live studio audience? We need help, guys. I'm lost.
I mean, yeah, but you know, I'm still gonna go ahead and imagine
Imagine
being at I Love Lucy, because that's much faster than
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Exactly.
And more accurate to
Yes.
my needs. Like,
My need right now is to just like, you can like grab onto a second of that experience in your mind if you try. Like, oh my God, imagine how exciting it would be when like the PA is leading you to your seat and they're like explaining everything. So like, all right, so guys, I know we're gonna get real wild when the show starts, all right? And then we're gonna let the actors do their thing. Okay, cameras on set one, you know, like whatever technical shit involved in the filming of I Love Lucy. And then sitting there in color, by the way.
yes.
In colored real life, sitting there and seeing the studio for Lucy and Desi's apartment. Seeing the Coco Bongo. Like, wait, that's not what it was called, but what was Desi's nightclub show? Like, what was his show called? What was the place called? I don't know. but the place where Desi hosted his show, seeing that little cutaway like on the stage ready to go. This episode has that show on it, and it has Lucy's apartment. When you show up, you're already so fucking excited at what you're going to see. Okay, so what would a typical episode of I Love Lucy begin with? Can you think of a scenario?
Oh my god, I haven't seen it in a long time. Typical I Love Lucy? Why do you have
What I mean is, like, how soon would you see Lucy when the episode begins? Would it just start with her on the opening shot? She runs in?
Well, I don't know. We could actually be waiting hours for Lucy to appear. What if we're like sitting in this audience for like forever?
You know, I don't think so. I think the TV studio is very efficient. They know they got to bring in a hot audience. They cannot have the audience sitting there bored for hours before the show begins.
Yeah.
The audience can sit outside and be bored, but when they're let in, that's because the show's about to begin. All the shit is rented. It's all set up. Everybody has already taken their place when the audience comes in, because the audience is just like lights, camera, action. It's just one of the many steps towards getting this shit made right by a bunch of union professionals. And yes, I think, wait, did the TV have a union in the... Did the TV have a union, you guys?
was Lucy in a union? I don't know.
I don't know anything about the history of television. I really don't. But I do know that I love Lucy. And if I, like, you know, if it opened on Lucy, I don't know, about to make a mistake, and you're just like, if you're in the audience, you don't see the camera fade in. You see Lucy, you see Lucille Ball walk out onto the set, and everyone goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then the director calls for everybody to be quiet, and that shit just begins.
And you're part of the show.
And you're part of I Love Lucy. Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing to think about. Your laughter is part of the show.
Have you seen the Fiona and Cake show? Someone in the chat asked.
No.
I haven't either, and I really should because my friends worked on it, but I don't watch a lot of TV, and most of my knowledge of TV comes from like shit I watched years ago, or like in my spare time I'm still just rewatching that instead of watching new shows. I will get to it. How do you like it? All right. Okay, so somebody just watched the chocolate conveyor belt scene on YouTube or whatever, and they're saying there's no way that laughter was canned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that audience was falling out of their seats laughing. That audience, like somebody was taken away on a stretcher when that shit went down. That was the funniest thing. Up until that point, American audiences had not seen anything that funny. That was the funniest thing, right?
It is like the most famous scene from that show, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But famous because we love them, you know? We love those idiots. Lucy and Ethel up to their old shit again. Oh, but this time they've really stepped in it. You know why? Because they're gonna get the thing that every housewife wants. To lay at home and eat bonbons. They're gonna get it in a way that the devil gave it to them. Like, because they're going to do it while also dealing with the fact that, like, as modern women, they are going to enter the working world. And they're gonna eat those bonbons. Because this conveyor belt needs to keep on rolling. So get on. Of course, they're gonna get fired, but, you know, that's all part of the rolling conveyor belt, too. Did they get fired?
I have to catch up on I Love Lucy.
What happened after Lucy and Ethel ate all those chocolates on the conveyor belt? What did their boss do when he found out? I'm going to assume their boss was a man. Was like a foreman on the factory floor. A new episode is out tonight at 12 o'clock. I'm so hyped for it. For a second, I thought you were talking about I Love Lucy.
Yeah, me too. A new I Love Lucy. It's in color now.
Yes. All right. We have a direct quote from I'm assuming Wikipedia. Every episode of I Love Lucy was shot in front of a live audience of 300 ticketed viewers.
Oh my god.
Fucking awesome.
Oh my god. Merritt, we have to get tickets to I Love Lucy. I didn't realize we needed tickets.
We need tickets to I Love Lucy. Listen, I never ask my fans for anything. If one of you guys can hook us up.
What do you think that costs?
To go to I Love Lucy? Well, not as much as like, you know, the Eras tour, but it's still pretty fucking expensive. Like Ticketmaster will have you by the balls on that one. You're probably going to be paying about $350 for like a bad seat at that.
Oh my god.
And that's not including the fees that are going to show up in your after you check out.
What?
An extra $48 easily.
For what?
For nothing, because Ticketmaster has the fucking monopoly on this. Lucy doesn't like it. Desi doesn't like it, and they've actually, like, you know, they've done a lot to protest it. They've put their own they've put their own reputations on the line to protest this shit. But apparently nothing can be done about it. Because, like, I Love Lucy used to be like a real working man's TV show. Like, your average Joe lunch pail could get 2 tickets to that show for $5. And that's today, that's inflation prices. Back then it would have costed 0.1 cents. You could bring the whole family. But the children had to sit in a separate location. That they don't do anymore. Yeah, convenience fees is what Ticketmaster calls it. Oh, he's so tired. Oh, poor Mario. I love when I come back from some flight of fancy and I'm like, "Aw, Mario, he's so cute." He's a cutie pie. Oh, Heidi appeared. She's still out of frame though.
Oh.
I kind of want to get her on camera.
Can you move the camera a bit?
I might be able to move it.
Yeah, see if we can get Heidi on the camera.
There's my girl.
Good dog. Oh.
She's very relaxed right now. I'm almost afraid to pet her because she might get up.
Oh.
This dog has earned it all. I know I'm just doing this on the stream all the time. My favorite pastime is to get high and talk about how Heidi has earned it all. Like, that she's retired now. She worked so hard to be a good dog, and now she deserves everything.
Yeah, she doesn't kill mice anymore.
No, she doesn't have to. She gave me a lifetime of love.
Oh.
She doesn't have to do shit. She can be annoying. It's all right. She can be one of those people who are just annoying forever. It's okay. Heidi taught me that that's okay. All right. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna give her her privacy back. Thank you. She's a wonderful creature. I love these little, like, these quiet little ballrooms and shit, and gardens and, you know, courtyards. That's the word I'm looking for. Ballroom gardens, you know, courtyards.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you mean. These quiet areas that are really just like atmospheric.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like this game has a unique look to it that the other games in either direction don't really have.
Yeah.
It's a little empty. It's a little lonely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, maybe that's what you want. A little time to, like, spread out and jump around.
Yeah. And levels like this are also a little bit creepy.
Are you remembering correctly that Heidi was at one or both of the webcomics weekends? Yeah, she was. She was definitely at least one of them.
Oh, hi.
That was, oh yeah. Yeah, she was there. She's very old. I've had her for so long. She is 15. She's my old lady.
Yeah, that's great.
She deserves it. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off me.
Heidi deserves it. She deserves the popcorn.
She deserves the popcorn. She deserves to get up into my bed just as I'm falling asleep and then spend the entire night pushing me out of my spot until I wake up like 4 feet away from my spot.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm so glad I have a king-size bed because otherwise this dog would have to sleep in a cage for me to get any sleep. Oh, you're at New too. Oh man, so at least 2 of you were at Webcomics Weekend. That's awesome. Wow. That was quite a while ago. You know, I don't really think about it too much, but it was such a rewarding experience to run a festival, and I feel like it taught me a lot about, you know, coordinating projects and shit, and staying calm under pressure, and you know, realizing that like I was at least somewhat capable of doing something like that. That was a very you know, informative time in my life, organizing those events. And I can't remember if they seemed well organized at all. They probably did not, because it was just me and like a couple other people in Western Mass who were like working together to get it out. And the fact that so many people came was a surprise. And you know, we did the best we could to like keep it all organized. But it was like there was something we did that like I feel like I want so badly from industry events, and I don't really go to them anymore, but I would love to find something like this. Like it would make me happy to go back to something like this. We in Northampton, we had a comic book shop that was basically at the end of the main drag. So we did a pub crawl where like everybody got a map, and you know, the entire downtown of Northampton was walkable. So we started at one place. We started at the comic shop, and then just like walked all around town and found people at different bars in Northampton. Like, because there were only like a handful of bars, and like the ones we put on the map, we had like, you know, talked to the owners and told them that like a lot of people might be coming by, but it was also on the weekend, so like there would have been a lot of people no matter what. So it didn't really matter that much. But every one of those bars you went to, there were more people that were like there specifically for the webcomics thing, and you could just like drink with people that you know were guests at the show or just visiting the show, and it felt like there were just few enough people that everybody could talk. Like you really could talk to everybody, and feel like there were just so many people there that it was like a big party. And it was like a very memorable night to just be out at the various places around the town I lived in, and be able to meet people who had come specifically for that event. And I think you know, a lot of people really enjoyed that, like being able to talk to people who were there for it, and you know, in a social setting that wasn't just like a convention center. I would love to be able to do something like that again, but I guess Comics Camp is kind of close to that. Yeah, the thing is, I don't really have a community anymore. It's sad to say, but I think that's eventually what happens to all of us is that we don't really participate in the scene like we used to. Maybe some of our interests are the same, but like for the most part, those sort of fall to the side of what like we are as people. And I don't go looking for who I am at events like that anymore, because I'm not. I at some point I realized I wasn't really finding like a part of myself at things like that anymore. So it could just be that that's not how my life works anymore. I would hope that like plenty of people are still meeting this way. I'm sure COVID made it really hard, but you met a bunch of people that you're still friends with there. That's so cool. Oh my God. Man, maybe we should do a retrospective on Webcomics Weekend. I should talk to some of my friends who put it on with me and see if who would write about this. Like, it wouldn't be Vice, but it would kind of be like a one of those sites, one of those entertainment sites that does like oral histories on things. Vice. Yeah, just like that time. There have been like a little bit of webcomics oral history over the years, but yeah, I don't know if that's interesting to anyone except us, is the thing. I don't think it's interesting to anyone except the people who were there in that moment. Because, like, webcomics was a different thing back then. It was, look, let's be honest. It was not so much about having a good comic. It was about having a comic that sort of subverted the typical expectations of, like, what a syndicated comic strip or, like, a serialized comic was like. It was a sea change when comics went online. And we were celebrating that. And we were, a lot of us were growing as artists and went on to, continue our career either in comics or in some sort of adjacent art field. And a lot of people didn't do that. And, they found something else to do with their life that works just fine. So I think it was more about the novelty of the whole thing than it was about the quality of the comics. I keep saying that because, look, a lot of the comics were bad.
But they filled a niche that otherwise wasn't being filled.
Yeah. People who wanted to read, who wanted to get, like, who are not finding funny comics in the newspaper. And we're not finding compelling comics on, in a comic shop. They wanted to read comics, and nothing was really providing the kind of like serialized storytelling or like gag a day material that they wanted, because syndicated comics had just become so much more restrictive, right? Like Will Watterson complained about this through his work for years. That you just like the newspaper would break up your comic every which way, and the deadlines were so brutal that almost nobody at this point puts in any effort to make anything that seeks to make full use of the medium of comics. Nobody does that anymore because like it's just too much of like a mass-produced product that has to like appeal to the broadest possible audience. And it's just impossible to make great work through like with all these restrictions on you. And, as such, like fewer and fewer cartoonists were getting syndicated because a lot of these syndicates were just running their old shit because like nobody remembered when, whether Charles Schultz was alive or not. Like they just kept running Peanuts after he died, uninterrupted, right? And so too have had countless strips, to this day, but especially, in the 2000s. So many of them had just been continued beyond the life of the creator so that there was just never going to be a spot for you in that newspaper. And like the comics section of the newspaper was getting smaller. It used to be this multi-page thing where you'd have massive full-page comics. And that shrank down to just like a pathetic little square of the newspaper. So there was no chance you were getting in, and there was no chance your art would look good on it. So you just like, you either had no chance of being syndicated, or you drew some pretty like basic ass like dribble. That was generally the consensus about newspaper comic strips. So, you know, for starters, you know, Gabe and Tycho get on there and they start talking about video games, and everyone's like, well, aside from like maybe like, you know, one Foxtrot strip every 6 months, I've never heard video games being talked about in a comic strip.
Yeah.
And not like I can read this every other day. Like this is almost as frequent as a newspaper comic. It's just in my mailbox all the time. Just like if a newspaper comic didn't suck. Now the thing is, like, of course, the Penny Arcade wasn't very good, but the subject matter and the way they talked about it was brand new and very exciting for people. I mean, you know, even the one particular webcomic that, like, to this day people really make fun of as, you know, defining of like the shitty early 2000s era of webcomics was like kind of riding that wave of that Penny Arcade started with, like, the novelty of talking about video games and comic strips. You know the one I mean. He tried to do something that wasn't video games.
What? Which?
Oh, well, like
one?
the most memed out webcomic thing ever. Lost.jpg.
Oh, Control-Alt-Delete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, somebody in the chat did the letter B and the little, like, carrot and the capital letter U.
Yeah, Control-Alt-Delete. It's like Penny Arcade, but with worse graphics, I guess.
Yes, with worse graphics, right. But, like, you know, just, like, riding the wave of that thing, right? And, but I mean, you know, there were many comics that dealt with gaming and technology, which was like just subjects that like were not being touched in newspaper comic strips. And then you had comics that had adult content. You had comics that had furry content. Like they were filling all of these little voids. They were filling all these holes on the internet. That were desperate to be filled.
Yeah, absolutely.
With slightly better than amateur content. Occasionally, you know?
I mean, yeah, Control-Alt-Delete was very popular.
Yes.
But, you know, it was pretty bad, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not here to rate the quality of each individual gaming comic.
But it was mentioned that it's a meme because it is bad, right?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, it's a bad comic, yeah. And,
or I guess it's just like, you know, it's just a ridiculous thing that like, you know, people make fun of the art style by like saying, oh, you can do this emoji.
Well, yeah, I mean, right. That's part of the reason people don't like it is because he can't really draw very well. No, he can't draw. And yet he figured something out that's good enough to please most people, right?
Yeah.
He had that figured out. That wasn't the mistake. The mistake is that he tried to do that really serious comic about miscarriages.
Right.
And you know, he was like, I didn't feel like telling a joke here. And the fact is, as far as I can remember, he was talking about his real life, which is like very sad.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was not able to artfully express his sorrow for that is really sad.
Yeah.
But also funny, because it's just so shocking. It's just so unbelievable that anybody would think that like this little thing that they've got working for them is an outlet for serious contemplation of themes.
Yeah. Yeah, like your audience expects a video game joke. Maybe you don't need to turn this into one of your strips, right?
No, you definitely don't. And it was literally one of his strips, right? If I remember this correctly, maybe somebody can confirm this for me. The previous strip to Lost was just a video game joke that had nothing to do with his girlfriend at all.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
That's sort of how I remember it too, yeah.
So you're reading that joke about what year would this have been? Like 2000 or 2001?
This is like 2007,
It was
2008.
later. Really? Was it
Yeah,
that late? Okay.
I think so.
All right. So 2000,
Maybe it was earlier, like 2005.
2007. What's a game that came out around then?
Well, I just remember like those characters were always playing the Xbox 360.
Yeah, they were always playing Halo 2 and stuff like, well, Halo 2. They were playing
I guess
later
Halo
Halos
3. I
Yeah.
don't know. They were playing Xbox 360, like the white one though.
Right. They were playing the big Xbox controller, and they were making a joke about that, like the guy, the friend, it was like in it, and they're just like, just like joking about the game. The next strip, Portal. Sure, they were playing Portal. The next strip, panel 1, is Tim running through the hospital doors. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong about this. I'm waiting.
Well, yeah, like I guess like this may speak to the whole like not published in newspapers thing. It's like this is the kind of person who makes, you know, just whatever, because like they have to make like you have to make like 5 to 10 comics a week to be a comic like that, right? Like you have to make so many comics, right? That like you just think only in terms of your comic, and like your character, it really is you, and like they just like put everything in their life in their comic.
Right.
You know, like
Right. Well, yeah, an editor, a shrewd editor, any editor at all would have said, Tim, don't do this. I know you're hurting, but this isn't how you process it, Tim. Don't do this. You're going to hang yourself out to dry. This is tonally inconsistent, Tim. You can't do this.
yeah.
Don't do this, Tim. I know you've got a story about this in you, Tim, because this is truly, you know, one of the greatest tragedies of your life thus far. I know you're going to tell that story one day, Tim, but don't put it in this fucking comic, Tim. Don't do it, because people are not going to like it, and you're not going to get the reaction you're looking for. Man, I must have sucked.
It's a comic for gamers. It's like a gaming jokes comic. There's a reason people follow you, and it's not this, right?
Yeah. But you know what? He didn't know that. He didn't know that because you know what? He didn't have one editor to tell him so. If he had an editor or a good friend who well, maybe his friends told him not to do it. Maybe, but he did it. He really wanted to do it. And like if he had an editor and he like that shit wouldn't run. That shit wouldn't run. They wouldn't allow it in a publication. Okay. All right. So somebody has said that the previous strip before Lost, he does get a phone call. He's at GameStop and he gets a phone call.
Right. Yeah,
So
I do remember
okay.
that.
All right. Look, I'm going to give Tim that. He did a little bit of narrative work there. Unfortunately, nothing else like that had ever happened in this comic. Like, what would come close to that? Did anyone die?
I mean, I wouldn't know. This is like the most famous thing about that comic, I think.
Well, somebody in here might know. Somebody in here has probably read it all.
No.
That was great. Nobody
Yeah,
read
still
Cat
good.
except for Lost. I don't know, man. That was a popular comic.
It was popular, but I didn't read it. I read Penny Arcade for a few years.
Somebody asked me if I think Octopus Pie has an infamous moment. You mean like a moment people hate? You're gonna get me to talk about that on the stream?
Infamous moments.
Yeah. The shitty webcomic moment of Octopus Pie is without a doubt the one I drew right after Barack Obama won the presidency. I drew a comic where everyone's happy because Barack Obama is going to be president. And even though the comic does expresses skepticism that Obama's probably not going to be any better than any other president, it is incredibly hopeful and celebratory of Barack Obama. Definitely the worst comic I ever made in that series. Yeah, unrivaled. Very bad. And I have never deleted it because I'm not a coward. If you didn't feel that way about Barack Obama when he won the election in 2012, God bless you for your perfect politics, I guess. I mean, look, I will, like, I'm talking specifically about people who might, for instance, have a critique of him from the left. I don't want to hear anything else. But, yeah, embarrassing in hindsight, definitely. Other things about the comic, I don't think there's anything else that is universally cringe like that. I cringe at a bit of it because I drew it, but that's not for other people to know about. Doesn't the robot murder the girlfriend and Tim goes into an alternate timeline or something? Yes, we had just gone through 8 years of Bush. I'm not gonna start talking about the presidents. I'm not going to be tricked suckered into that one again.
I'm dead.
But yes, absolutely. I had a bad president and I drew a bad comic. Things were bad. Oh, okay, so infamous doesn't have to necessarily mean cringe. It could also be discourse generating. I mean, Octopus Pie exposed a lot of people to the Shags. A lot of people heard about the Shags in Octopus Pie and then found out later on that the Shags was a real band.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like... I mean, I'm very glad to know that more people discovered the Shags through my efforts.
I mean, I know about the Shags because of you.
I may have done quite a bit for the Shags' audience, really. I love the Shags. They're so beautiful. I love them. I really do. I come back to them every couple of years. Oh yes, and I was very into Captain Beefheart during the early years of Octopus Pie. I put that trout mask replica shit all over my backgrounds and names and jokes and shit. Just like Dag out blues, like just his screaming voice.
Oh my god, yeah, I've been listening to him a lot lately. This great train that houses people's thoughts, their very souls and belongings.
Oh man, like, okay, so Beefheart on his own is obviously brilliant, but Beefheart and Zappa together doing like a live show, we listened to that shit so much. In fact, I named Hannah's first bong, well, the only bong that I named in Octopus Pie. We never saw her name a bong ever again, but I called it Bongo Fury because of that album, because I love it so much. Well, I did. I don't know. I haven't listened to it in a long time. I have love in my heart for it. Oh, yes. When I shifted from digital to traditional, some people had a problem with that. I remember that.
Oh, shit. A controversy.
Oh, yeah. Well, because, like, all right. So I was drawing Octopus Pie for, like, I want to say a year. When did I switch? Might have been a year, 2 tops. But I was like, I think between work and this, I'm going down a bad path with this digital art. I don't really like the way I draw anymore, and I'm ashamed that as a cartoonist I never learned how to use a brush, and I think I need to learn how to ink. I think I actually need to learn. I can't lean on Manga Studio for the rest of my fucking life. And I was using like smoothing shit to make it in Manga Studio, so it looked really, really smooth. But the drawings underneath looked bad because of like the smooth line. The way I was kind of using digital tools to make my art. I didn't like the way it looked. And I knew that if I switched to ink on paper, it was going to look like shit for a while. But I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll learn fast. And I just like jumped into it. And it did really look bad for a couple of years. Like, I understand why people weren't happy about the change. But I needed to do, oh my God, this merry-go-round is so fucking great. I needed to get better. I needed to get better at drawing. It was like my last chance to get better at drawing. You know, like you lose the drive to really hone that after a while. I mean, God, I'd love to get better at drawing now, but I don't have time anymore. But then I had a little time. So I just practiced drawing. I practiced inking until I had it exactly the way I wanted it. And now that's the only way I do it. It was part of figuring out a process that would become like the perfect process. Sorry, you don't have to look at me while I ramble on about this shit to you. Oh yes, you're right. The most commented page of Octopus Pie, and I feel like this was kind of the time period that we were in at the time, was about whether Eve was right to throw a drink in Park's face or not, and whether Park was enough of an asshole to deserve having a drink thrown in his face, and whether that was a deranged act that Eve did, as if any of this analysis does anything to clarify whether it's funny that she threw the drink in his face or not. But I think, at the time, people were very invested. It was like nearing the end of the strip, and people were very invested in the story of these characters. And I think there was also like a lot of, in general, a lot of discourse around the morality of what characters were doing, and whether the characters were right to do those things or not. And there was also like a little bit of a question of like, what is the author trying to say by like depicting characters who are like bad in this way or good in this way? And I wasn't trying to like state the morality of any aspect of it. I was just trying to set the scene. So I didn't really have anything to say about all that. I like in hindsight, it's cool in hindsight that people cared so much about those characters that they were talking about them like real people. It's like reading an advice column, You feel like, okay, well, what this person needs to do is obviously this. Yeah, that one was. You're right. It was hotly debated. There were a lot of people who thought Park was like an irredeemable character, which like, you know, that implies that like redemption is like part of like the arc of a character in something, that like everything comes back to the moral judgment placed on that character. Whether he deserved to not be the one for Eve or not. And you know, nobody will ever be good enough for her, right? So the people who loved the comic were like, how dare he try to bulldoze her life like that after all he did to her? And you know, then I mean, the story then itself interrogates whether it was fair for her to do that. So I feel like I examined it in my own way, and that was the way I was interested in doing it. So there were two examinations going on. Yeah, you're still in like this quiet place with the ghosts.
Did you play this when it was like on display at Toys R Us?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I definitely played it in stores.
They only let you get like to like Bob on Battlefield, and then it like boots you out and you have to let the next person play.
Oh, right. There was like a pre-programmed version of it. It was like a demo version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like desperately hungry for more of this game when you play. Right. Park's irredeemable because he said something mean when he walked out. He said that he was an asshole on his way out. Yes, but that's not the end of his story just because he left the stage. We're still doing a post-mortem on that as the story goes on. And I'm so sorry for talking about this, guys. I never get to talk about why I made all these choices in Octopus Pie, and even now, like, I don't really know exactly why because I was a different age when I wrote it. But the story goes on to then interrogate Eve about like the sort of attachment she forms to people, and you know, whether her account of the whole thing was even accurate or fair. So it was about her. It wasn't about whether he was a good guy or not. He was an unknowable guy to her, you know, like he couldn't be the one, and therefore he would never give 100% of himself to her. So of course he's the asshole for that, because he had another life. He had a whole nother life, and that was impossible for Eve to accept. Like, you know, she built up something completely different about him, that, you know, she was gonna like spend her life with him, and she thought like she had all that laid out in front of her. But then like when she sees him, she's disappointed to find out that he intends to just, you know, go back where he came from, and he barely even tried to see her on this trip. She realizes that he's not going to, like, you know, take her back to Chicago with him. Like what the fuck does she think is gonna happen? And she can't deal with that, and that's the reason she throws a drink in his face. And then, you know, you could argue that like he shouldn't have slept with her if he thought she felt this way, but then, like, did he know she felt this way? Like, he's totally oblivious to how she feels. Her life is not a part of his life anymore. So how the fuck does he know? He wanted to see her, and he thought, you know, maybe they're both over it, and like, who cares? And you know, maybe he should have read the scenario a little bit better. But like, his obliviousness is really what hurts. That's what hurts her fucking feelings so much, is that he doesn't care. Not that he came to try and like fuck with her in some way. So she's crying over that, and the only thing she can take it out on is him, because he's the reason she's here. He didn't have to fucking call. He didn't have to see her if he didn't want to like be in a relationship with her again. And that's how she sees it. But like, to him, she was just one of the many spots he hit on his trip. He was visiting a lot of friends, and he decided to squeeze her in where he could. It's the other way around, really, but he didn't make a lot of time for her. No more than he made for anybody else, and it seems he made more time for other people than her. But he doesn't owe her that time just because they used to be together. And, you know, we don't know what their conversation was like when he called. Maybe she told him everything was cool. We're not here to find out what Park was thinking. What we're here to find out is that Eve has her own fucking idea of what Park was thinking. And Greg has a totally different idea, which he expresses to her, and she gets very mad. And that, you know, when we get out of relationships, we don't really heal from them until we take into account, like, the story that we told about them. What we were so certain we knew about them. But we didn't know shit about them because they were just somebody we dated when we were young. And now they're a stranger. And that hurts. And at some point, you have to accept your own role in all that. And allow it to stop hurting. I'm sorry, there's so many people in the chat asking me questions about this right now. I'm happy to answer them as Joe plays Mario 64, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
He's letting me do it. Thank you, Joe. Can I talk about why Merrick faded out of the strip as it went on? Well, he wasn't in a relationship with Hannah anymore, and Hannah is the character. I'm sorry. Merrick is a supporting character. Sorry.
May I comment?
Sure.
Well, you know, people want every character to be like a role model, I guess. Not, you know, that's not necessarily, like, you just need to relate to them, like, you know, a feeling a character has.
I mean, people kind of conflate likability with relatability.
Yeah.
They consider a likable character someone who's never done anything that they don't want to feel like they can relate to. Like, you know, they want to like somebody who's never done anything bad because then they can pretend that that's who they relate to. But a character who's done something bad is probably a lot more like you, and maybe that's why you don't like them. Maybe that's why they're not likable.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think Park isn't a bad person, but he was intent playing up his maturity because he desires to show others he has it together. That's why I always thought the failed law firm interview cut so deep, because he felt very helpless, maybe even childish in that situation. Well, of course. And Park is a vulnerable character, and you do see it. You see him trying to do that, but you see a lot of them trying to do that. You see our little heroes trying to do that too. It's something that, like, Hannah accuses Marigold of doing, of, like, pretending to be, like, completely something that she's not. And Hannah knows how stupid and vulnerable she is. And meanwhile, you know, Hannah's just projecting what she's fucking upset about in her own life. And you know, they're all just trying to outwardly project somebody who's got it together and somebody who, like, has it all figured out and shit. But they're all just flailing at some point in the story. All of them are totally not in any way, you know, not in any way sure what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, so, you know, I made an attempt to make Park look vulnerable like they all were. And, you know, maybe he does shitty things because of that vulnerability. So do they all. I just think because Park was not he was not on the winning team. We didn't follow him. And he was a bad ex. Unlike Merrick, who's he's such a noble ex. Well, no, he kind of pulls a bad ex move at the party at the end, doesn't he? But for the most part, a pretty cool ex. Not somebody that, you know, they can still talk. The two of them can still talk. But, you know, when you have an ex that you can't talk to, something you'll never forget went down. At least somebody who is of any importance. You're gonna hold a little piece of them. The ones where some major heartbreak went down. The eye reveal, thank you. I've done characters with shrouded eyes twice now. I feel like I've done everything I possibly can with it. This creature is adorable. Look how happy he is. Why didn't they hook up before COVID? Why didn't Hannah and Larry find each other before COVID? I think what I was trying to suggest in the story before it ended was that she could not possibly get a hold on this guy. Like, it would drive her crazy, and they were not ready for each other. And he still drives her crazy. But it's okay now. Shit changes. COVID changed everything. I really did want that story to take what I saw as the consequences of living in the world of COVID and capture it, because I've mostly forgotten it myself. I've forgotten a lot of it, and really capture, just like, I don't know, how everything kind of like felt like there was like a little bit of a dead end in front of it. There's a wall in front of everything, in front of your plans, and in front of your hopes, and I wanted to show some characters who were perhaps, looking forward to a baby, but constantly thinking about doom. And characters who were terrified of the other one dying. Characters who'd gotten married and were terrified of the other one dying. And people who had become completely isolated, completely alienated from their world, partly by COVID and partly by other factors in life. And there's a few of those in that story. They're all kind of alienated from their world. They miss the touch of one another so much that maybe some of the things that seemed like they were keeping them apart before are not as important as they were, and those things eventually will be overcome, and they're all going to see each other again someday. I didn't know if that was true when I finished that story, though. The vaccine was coming, though. And life did change when the vaccine came. I think I was writing from the perspective of somebody personally who was afraid that exciting shit would never happen again. That I just like never stay up late at like a spontaneous hangout again. And, I would never have like nights that just like went on endlessly. And I mean, part of that is just like being my age. And, yeah, all these characters in my comics were similarly feeling alienated between COVID and the fact that they were getting older and just like, moving apart for whatever reasons. You didn't think Marigold and Jane's marriage would last through this latest story. They almost didn't make it, yeah. Oh, but what if I got to draw a divorce? I've never done that before. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there are a lot of graphic novels that involve divorce. And they're mostly pretty sad. I think I could do it though. I think I could make a really good divorce story. The question is whether Marigold and Jane should get the axe. I think I'm gonna decide it right now, actually. What do you think? Should they get divorced? I'm thinking about it. Like, I could do a lot with that. I can make it funny. Okay. Our Marigold divorce arc would require a Kickstarter for how intense it would be. Yes. Okay. I'm not going to do that for a few more years. She's not going to get divorced until her 40s. Oh, and what a divorce it'll be. Oh, I'm thinking about it now. If they got divorced, the readers would start claiming custody over one of them, or like which one of the characters has custody of them, so that they don't disappear from the comic, right? Like, the readers are going to be like, all right, if they're divorced though, which one becomes the more main character and which one fades away?
So basically, like, who dies?
Who basically dies, as far as we're concerned. Maybe we'll see her again, like, sometime down the line. She won't be doing great.
Just written out of the show.
Written out of the show. It would be, look. Yeah, it would be a bloodbath. But that might be what that might be what I crave in my 40s, to write a story like that. I don't know. Who knows? And maybe that's what other people are going to want to read about, is a fucking divorce. It would be strange if Marigold faded away and Jane stays. I feel like I'd really have to make the case for that. I'm sorry to say. Marigold is a more main character than Jane. But, like, if I find something else to do with Jane, maybe I can put her somewhere else. But that shit always sucks in sitcoms, And, well, does it suck? I don't know. I don't care. They do that in Girls all the time. The characters break up, and then they just stay in the plot for some reason. Like, they kept Ray around after he broke up with Shoshana for, like, 3 seasons. So, look, it's not out of the question. Oh my god. Yes, Marigold eats another brown nut biscuit, but it would be some, like, it would be like some TikTok version of that, right? Like, whatever the current solution to a problem of, like, being sad about your breakup is, for, like, woo-woo TikTok world, would be what she does, right? She'd drink the pink sauce or whatever the hell, to forget about Jane forever. But then they would still be tied together somehow. They would be, they would have a baby. They would have a child together. Well, this child at this point would be like 9 years old. So Jane would still be a character. So, like, look, their marriage is safe, right?
Well, I was wondering if they would, like, be the type of people who would, like, get divorced and then married again.
Oh man, okay. Has that happened in a sitcom? I'm sure it has, right? Characters got divorced and married again. Did Larry David marry Cheryl again?
Did they get divorced?
They got divorced, yeah.
Oh, I have no idea.
Sound off if that's ever happened. Because look, then there's still a chance, right? They get divorced, and look, Jane has to stay in the picture because they have a child. Unless Jane's done something really bad, and the fans refuse to forgive her forever.
I mean, okay. I think killing off one of the characters is really funny, but I think maybe only joke about it, sort of.
Well, the only character I could kill is Eve. Like, none of the other characters, you can't be violent to the other characters. It's mean.
Yeah.
Like, if Marigold fell on a bed of spikes, that would be so sad.
Oh, I don't mean like that. I mean like they're the one broken up with, and it's like goodbye. You're out of the plot.
Right. You've been kicked out of the plot. Well,
Yeah, like
look, it has happened before.
it's like Survivor. You're getting kicked off.
Well, yeah. I mean, some characters are shown the door. Okay, I did. The last story I did was about Puget Sean's wedding, and he's like a fairly minor part of the friend group.
Yeah.
And that's me saying goodbye, Sean. No more of you now.
His wedding, so he's moved on from friends.
He's moved on from friends, and he just has a wife now, and he loves her. And his friends are like, get out of here, you big fucking asshole. We hate ya. Just kidding. No, we hate ya. And that's just like, all right, no more Sean. You don't carry Puget Sean through your entire life.
Yeah.
You're lucky if you carry a few people through your entire life, right? So look, the core group has to remain small. But maybe people come and go. Somebody did say to me like a few weeks ago, or maybe months ago, it might have been right after I posted a new story, that they looked forward to the episode about Eve's funeral.
Is that gonna be the end of the comic or no?
I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm going to feel like drawing when I'm ready to die. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to draw.
Yeah.
And I have the feeling that whatever it is would seem absolutely insane to me now. But that's good. That's good because it means I'm going to evolve. Greg makes one last return to be the donor for Marigold's baby. No way. No way. They don't want that guy to come. Absolutely not. We know that though, right? No. Keep a draft locked in a desk drawer. Look, it's all in here. Okay. You're so sweet for being interested in Octopus Pie, even though you've never read it before. And I've been talking about it for, what, half an hour at this point? Maybe way more, maybe 2 hours. You can find it at the .com for it. Here, I'll just type it in. It's very like 2000s, what is now called the indie sleaze era. I drew it from 2007 to 2017. How many stars have you gotten?
26.
Oh hell yeah! I love how you always get to see how many stars you have.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yay.
that's kind of an old game thing, like, so you don't have to constantly pause it.
To see how many you have, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's nice. It's like such an important number. Indie sleaze era is, I think, what's generally defined as like Vice and American apparel and indie rock music and craft beer and Williamsburg, like gentrified Williamsburg, Brooklyn, hipster hate, Portland, Oregon, you know, the arcade fire and shit. Union Pool, the indie sleaze era. And that's when I wrote it and I ended it, you know, after that. Pre-Chapo Brooklyn, right. I was leaving just as they were coming through. I don't know what's going on in Brooklyn now. It ain't for me anymore. How late you want to go tonight, bro? It's it's midnight.
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, why are you done?
I can hang out for a little longer. We started kind of late, but
Sure.
probably not too much longer.
Do you want to try something else?
If you want.
Yeah. Let's put something else on.
Yeah, I've been not playing for a while, and look what I've been getting up to. I should Oh God, I can't repost this anywhere. This doesn't make sense in any context except Thingus. But I would love to. Well, first of all, I would love to listen to these thoughts tomorrow and see if I'm not completely mortified by them. But then I would love to share them with people who are curious about the things that you've been asking about. You love gorillas, so you vibe with the 2000s stuff even though you're barely conscious. Yeah. Well, in that case, I'm making a video game from an era you would love. It takes place all in 2003. Is this N64? Did you bring over another controller?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh, it's got the pack. It's got the Rumble pack.
Oh, nice.
Dope. All right, what are we gonna play?
I don't know. Let's see.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit, my friends. Oh, I'm not even pointing it at the camera. There you go. I'm just rotating it. It's a 3D rotating object. What on earth shall we play? Here we go. I'm not doing it with as much of an accent on it. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do the accent. The Mario accent.
Yeah.
I'm flattening it out a bit.
Yeah, you should. I think that's, better when you only do the accent just like slightly. It's just like barely.
Yeah, everyone gets it. You don't have to go all out on this one.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh, pod racers. Oh man, it would be so funny if it zoomed in and it was the kid. It was like Anakin, but like his face superimposed on like a flat poly face.
Okay, I guess 2-player. We didn't have this game, but I played it once at Sears.
We did have oh, you played this at Sears? Nice.
Yeah.
We did have Yoshi's Story. We played that a couple weeks ago. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I went through it. What? You have to put in your name? But why?
Yeah, whatever. Just give me whatever. That's you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was reading the chat. I will read what you said in just a minute. I'm treating the chat like homework.
Yeah, I don't have it open.
Look how cinematic. Just like the movie. Which one am I? You'll tell me BBBB in just a second. Oh, it's like a Star Wars number.
Okay, I'm player 1. Right? Yeah.
Oh, you don't ride, you don't hover?
Don't
Man.
I?
It's just a spaceship. It's a spaceship, but it doesn't fly. How do you lift up off the ground? You can't?
I don't know.
I don't think you can. It's not like Star Fox. You're just like on the ground.
Nope.
It's just hovery. It's just a little hovery.
Yeah.
When hoverboards became trendy and you first heard about them, was there a moment when you thought that it was like a real thing, that it was actually a hoverboard before you found out what a hoverboard actually was?
I guess at this point I've already been trained to know that like if something like a teleporter comes out, I know it's not gonna really do what I think it's gonna do.
I guess so. I guess so.
Um, did you see that video of the guy who played Anakin, like,
Now,
yeah, like recently he like wrecked a car, he like flipped a car over.
like, was he like drunk driving?
He was like fleeing from the police because he stole a car.
What?
He had like a mental breakdown after having a fight with his mom. Because like I think it had to do with him being like messed up from that movie.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, I mean, how old is he now? Like 30?
Something like that.
Or he's in his early 30s? Jesus. That's really sad to hear. I mean, like, you know,
Yeah.
this shit happens all the time with child actors. Their parents take advantage of them, and they feel like their parents didn't protect them.
Yeah.
And they often disown their parents for what they did to them. But that's really, really sad that that happened.
Yeah, it ruined his life, and it also ruined. Oh my God, that was so.
Whoa, that was so close. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I love a close race.
It also ruined the guy who played Jar Jar's life.
Really?
Yeah, he almost killed himself.
Really?
He went to a bridge to kill himself, and like at the very last second changed his mind.
Oh my god. And it
He-
became like new, like people found out about it.
Yeah, like it's just this movie. It's like
Wow.
terrible. Like it's terrible that like fans would like blame the actors for a movie not turning out how they wanted.
Oh my god. For just playing like a corny character.
Yeah.
I wish you could do a barrel roll.
We could play F-Zero instead.
I'm enjoying this. This is fun.
Yeah, this is not bad.
Can we play on any other kind of landscape?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Oh. Oh, cool. Okay.
We had a Star Wars game for the N64 called Shadows of the Empire that I played.
Oh yeah, right. I do remember that. There was like AT-ATs. AT-ATs, are those giant turtley things?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool game. I used to watch our brother play that. Well, it made me very happy to be able to talk about Octopus Pie to a few of you tonight. Thank you for that. That's cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It still means quite a bit to me. I feel like I still kind of explore my world through those characters. So I like to be able to talk about it once in a while.
It's a new lap record.
That's an example of ridiculous voice acting, right?
Ridiculous, especially considering this is a Star Wars game.
It's like a belch. That's a new lap record.
Yeah, it sounds like it's from like a fucking wrestling game. I guess it's supposed to be like a monster set it. Just make it like a lizard sounding guy. Like, it's a new record. Right? Wouldn't that sound great?
Maybe.
Or, bash, bah, bah, and then it says like the words under it. It's a new record. Ah. 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 Like somebody's like, some like middle-aged guy is catching his breath. Sounds like Hank Hill catching his breath. Oh.
Let's go do close again.
Yeah! That sounded like a little boy cheering.
Oh right. You're Anakin, and I'm some alien.
All right, I'm gonna do one more.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll call it a night. Thanks to everyone who watched tonight. This race is for you. Oh, jingle bells all the way. Christmas and Star Wars. Christmas comes to Star Wars.
It's the Christmas planet. All it's missing is the like jolly rareware music from Diddy Kong Racing.
Well, look, it's Star Wars, so it's still gonna be a little Star Warsy, okay?
Oh, is there any music?
There's no music, it's just an icy wonderland. It's not jolly at all. You want jolly? Play a Rare game. This is LucasArts.
Yeah, I like the taking damage part of this game, and the going hundreds of miles per hour part. It's cool.
Yeah, it feels fast, for sure. Is my ship okay? Oh my god, I just exploded into bits. That's how I'm going out. Oh, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy behind me is speaking in another language.
Okay.
Whew. Oh, excuse me. I'm getting tired. Perfect Dock. Oh yeah, we should play Perfect Dock. We should play Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
We could do that next week.
Okay.
Yeah, we're really on our N64 beat right now. I've been playing a lot of Super Nintendo RPGs, but they don't really feel appropriate for the stream. You know, there's a lot of reading and a lot of like pondering and like reading directions and stuff, and I just don't feel like it makes for the kind of like non-stop jaw flapping that you know we love to have on this show. Perfect Dock is like Perfect Tides if she never left the island. Yeah, never went and did anything in the world. Just stood on the dock and looked at the water. Now that is a walking simulator. Not a game where you go out and experience life. This rumble pack feels visceral, by the way. I wish you guys could all feel the rumble that I'm feeling. This is quite state of the art.
Fuck.
Oh man. Yeah, right. You guys can hear the rumble. Put it right up. This is ASMR, right?
I don't hear it.
Oh,
I
really?
can hear
Is it-
your buttons, but I don't hear the rumble.
Well, I'm not getting
Oh.
into any accidents right now.
Whoa. Maybe I do feel it. I hear it now.
You'll feel it when I hit a wall. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the noise gate might be hiding it. It's true. We're hiding 2 air conditioners that need to run in this
Oh
room.
yeah, that's what I hear. That air conditioner behind my head.
Yeah. It is unbearably hot in this room, and in order to record up here for 3 hours, we need so much air conditioner. Someone in the chat says that when they were little, one of their babysitters had this game.
Thingus.
Okay, at least one of the vibrations came through. I did it.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that ASMR? You could do that, I guess.
Yeah, I can just, well, there aren't many sounds that, like, consoles make, so there are not many chances for me to, give people up-close, microphone sounds that the consoles make. I suppose I could play it out of TV speakers and record that really nicely. But, that's not at all what I'm interested in doing. Even a little bit.
Yeah, like these are strange videos.
I feel like I need to be making more of a sexual connection with my audience than I am. That'll help. If I start playing more close-up sounds of machinery.
I mean, there's like the Coleco with the printer that made a lot of noise when it turned on.
That's true. That sound would make people horny. I can't play that. Feels great. Feels great flying this thing. Whoop. Oopsie. Oh shit. Straight into a wall. Ah! I keep making the same fucking mistake. You're in first.
Uh-oh.
Beetle Adventure Racing we haven't done yet, but we will.
Oh yeah, we should.
All right. This game and the Goofy movie, both terrific. Terrific things to remember. I love a Goofy movie. But you know what? That song that they sing on the boat sucks. Like, sucks ass.
Yeah, it's goofy and not in a good way.
Yeah.
It's.
I like to put opinions like that at the end of the stream where no one will find them. The extremely goofy movie sucks. Like, not good.
Yeah, it's kind of trashy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it does not really capture the relationship with Goofy and his son Max the way the first one did.
No, Goofy sucks.
Yeah.
He's not relatable in the second movie.
Yeah, but there's like a hot woman in the second movie with glasses.
Yeah.
Goofy's girlfriend.
Yeah, Goofy's girlfriend.
Yawn.
Yeah, who cares? What about like compared to the tragedy of Mrs. Goofy being, just like absent, like the implied death in the family, like who cares about
Yeah.
Goofy's girlfriend?
Yeah, who cares about Goofy's girlfriend? Exactly. The relationship of Goofy and Max, the relationship between father and son is made heavier by the fact that they're all they have in this world together. And when you're not treating the absence of Max's mother as serious, then you're not treating that relationship as serious. Because if Max had a mom, he wouldn't be stuck hanging out with his dad all summer. He'd have somebody else who'd understand his problems in a way that Goofy doesn't understand them. Goofy doesn't fucking understand. And it takes all summer. It takes all summer for Max to come out of his shell and stop lying to his dad. But Goofy's trying his best. He's taking guidance from Pete because he's hoping at least, maybe Pete will help him out here because he's at his wit's end. Like, Max used to love him, and now he's so fucking mad at him all the time. He's desperate. He's desperate to help his son when his principal complains about his son being a troublemaker. He's desperate to keep his son out of prison. He thinks it's his fault that his son is going to end up as a criminal. Goofy's not having a good time as a dad. He's lost. It's really hard for him. And that's why we feel so strongly for Goofy when he finds out that his son lied to him again. That his son really, really fucking lied to him. And now he's not trying anymore. Fuck this. Goofy doesn't talk. Max detects that immediately. Hey, Dad, what do you want to do today? So, are we doing something fun today? Goofy doesn't say shit. He just sits there, furious at Max in a silent way that Max is terrified about. He knows he fucked this one up. He knows he fucked this one up so bad. He's so scared. And then, the blow up comes. And it's great. Goofy pulls over. He can't fucking listen to this anymore. He goes out onto the edge of the earth. He goes out to like a look off spot, and he just stands there and leans against the fence and looks out into the over the mountain because he can't stand being in the car with Max, this fucking pressure cooker going on between them. He's so mad. And Max is like trying like shit that he knows is gonna flatter his dad's sensibilities. He's like, guess who? Walt Disney, right? And he's trying to play his dad's lame ass games to like flatter his dad so his dad's not gonna be mad at him. And he's just like, fuck you, Max. And like the landslide in the song that follows sucks so much compared to all that. Like, that's some real shit that you don't find in whatever the hell other thing they made after that. Like, or
Right.
anything ever again. Like, anything ever again. Nothing's ever been as good as that was.
Well, yeah, like an extremely goofy movie doesn't have any parts like that. There's no like serious emotion. I mean, that whole movie is just like taken from a different movie with like Rodney Dangerfield. It's like the same plot.
Right. The dad goes back to college. Right. Just boring as could be.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of incoherent. Like the direction of it is like, it's a little hard to follow. Like, did this guy direct music videos before he made a movie?
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, he probably directed TV.
Is there a he? I feel like a movie like that. Well, like I know the first Goofy movie was done by like 5 different studios, so I would imagine that like it was like a million studios this time too.
Yeah, probably, because some of it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But some of it really just looked like they were doing the absolute best they could with like, just like being completely out of their scope and having no money.
Yeah.
There are a lot of animators who went for it with that movie, but that doesn't mean they made anything good, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It still looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, a Goofy movie has an interesting look to it. It's pretty good looking, I think. Extremely Goofy movie is like all digital. Well, I mean, I think Goofy movie was also digital, but like it doesn't have that like cheaper digital look to it. Like I think it was Toon Boom, like versus the
really?
cap system.
Right.
So like
right.
there's more of an organic look to it.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's a miracle. It's a miracle when you make a movie like a Goofy movie. That shit doesn't come along every day. It was the exception. It wasn't like the standard.
Yeah, you can't just like produce endless Goofy is real content and have it be good.
No, well, you made some.
I did. Although I feel like the rule I set for myself is this ends as soon as it stops being funny, and like
Yes.
it has to be like, immediate.
Right, exactly. So it's only a few minutes long, and that's it. Instead of like 80 years of Goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Endless Goofy.
Endless Goofy.
He's in your party.
Yeah, he's in your party. He's fighting evil with you. Oh, what's Goofy's weapon? A sock with beans in it?
He's got like a shield,
He fights with a shield, like Captain America?
I think.
Because they can't have Goofy stabbing somebody with a sword, right?
Yeah. Sora has the key. Donald has like a magic wand, I think.
Okay.
And Goofy has a shield. Does that sound right to you?
I mean, it sounds right. Yeah, they're not going to have Goofy have a sword. Even though there probably was an episode in the old Disney cartoons where Goofy tried to become a sword fighter, like a
a joust.
Yeah, right, a joust, or like learning to do like to fight with an EP, like formalized sword fighting. I feel like, there was some sort of lifestyle narrated cartoon where like the modern man, Goofy, was trying to learn how to like fight somebody with a sword.
Right.
And he got stabbed like, youch! He didn't stab anybody else, but he tried to.
Yeah.
And somehow, fencing, yes. And somehow he fell off a cliff in that too. He fell down a pit while he was fencing. Should we end the stream?
Sure.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. This was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
It's a nice late and long one. All right. Good night.
See ya.